So
it's not working.
It's not working.
Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Also the lag. Do you not normally use OBS, or you do and you were just having issues with it?
I usually use OBS, but yeah, something's wrong here. The stream is not working. Hello? An error occurred. I don't know what is going on.
You might have to do the dreaded restart.
Oh, that's such a bummer, though.
It is, dude. It is. I know, man. I hate that too. I'm getting confirmation we can be heard. Okay.
But I don't think we can be seen. Are we seen? Mine says an error occurred, and I'm worried.
Let me ask the DD bot. Can you see us? Can you see the stream?
It should be the screaming me saying starting soon, hopefully. Okay, maybe. Okay, I refreshed my page, and I think it's okay.
Okay, she says that she can hear us.
Beautiful.
So apparently that means she can see the stream. So, okay.
All right. Yeah, it looks like everything's okay now. I'm going to cross my fingers.
Well, we'll just steady as we go.
Yeah, who knows?
Can see this. She can see the starting screen.
Okay, beautiful. Yeah, okay. So now we're actually in the green room. We were in the green room, pre-green room for like 3 minutes then. Jesus.
Good.
Professional ass show happening right now, people.
I'm telling you, man. You know, I'll bring you down if I can, bro. It just the way it goes.
I swear.
When you stream with salmon, you know, if something stinks, it's probably the salmon.
It starts at the head. Is that how it goes? But I made sure all of your hilarious little salmon hat figurines are in the corners.
Oh, bitchin'.
Fucking hilarious. I'm always torn between that one and you with the super muscly guy in the Japanese backdrop. But this one's so classic. It's like messing with the Coke logo. I can't. I gotta
cool.
Keep it OG.
Keep it OG. Yeah, well, if I want to give a shout out, since we're in the green room still here, I give a shout out to Susan Bonds, because when I was looking for images of Dustin and I ran across this picture,
Isn't it hilarious?
That she edited it where Dustin's like super tiny in the interrogation room. I was cracking up audibly, so I used that picture in my community tab post. It's so funny.
Hey Matt Willis, her interrogation upload that we'll be going over with tonight, I have seen dozens of times. I have watched this second only, maybe third. So the top three, the holy trinity for me of interrogation TCAP style is Dustin, Sokol, and Roush. So McPhetridge, Sokol, and Roush. The holy trinity. Like in hell, Satan is chewing on those three and Roush is in the center head.
Nice.
But boy, oh boy, do I...
Roush, just like Dustin, Roush was an IT specialist.
Right. Well, what you call him, an IT specialist?
Well, we'll talk a little bit more about it. Dustin is certified, A+ certified.
A+?
Yeah. So, but it ends up shooting him in the foot, and I'll talk about that later.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and start the show then.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Welcome to the show. My name is Dave. It's Flamingo Friday, and we're doing, you saw it in the thing. We're doing a show. Let me introduce you to my co-host for this episode, back on the show. Super excited. You heard his voice. One of my top 10 favorite internet personalities, Big Salmon. There he is.
Hey, thanks, brother. I appreciate that. And I didn't know you had Flamingo Fridays. That's a cool gimmick, brother.
Yeah, I've a weird and mysterious history with flamingos. It simply started because they were the easiest to photograph when I was getting into photography, because they would stand very still and very close to the edge of the cage at the zoo.
Nice.
And here we are. So yeah, in addition to Flamingo Friday, check it out. I'm wearing my Dale's Toe T-shirt.
Oh, hell yeah.
By
the way, we still have a 15% off salmon merch. I'll throw in a plug.
Oh, yeah. To get one of these classic Dale's Toe. I think this is fucking hilarious, the Dale's Toe T-shirt. One of my favorite gags is Dale's Toe.
Dude, and I don't know if Dale's Taco extends, east in the United States, but it's certainly a Western thing, west of the Pecos, as they say.
Yeah, if you don't know what Del Taco is, look it up. And this is dead nuts on board. And the toe coming over the, oh my God. So funny. So funny. But
thank you, brother.
Yeah. So here we are, guys. We are Ryan Maxwell, Moss to a Flame. I don't want to steal your bit.
Yay, Ryan.
All right. So we're going to be going over, we're going to call this a breakdown, an analyzation. Ooh, that's weird. Analysis.
Yeah.
We're going to be analyzing the Dustin McPhetridge interrogation. And one of my favorites. So this is the shorter of the two biggies. I forget how long Sokol's is, but so I figured we'll start with the small one, and if need be, and if demanded by the community or whoever, we could step it up a notch and do a bigger one.
Yeah, this one actually, the video length is an hour 30, but there's a good 30 minutes of him just sitting there bemoaning his fate.
Yeah, like that's something that him and Roush have in common is like when Detective John, when he leaves the room, he's gone for a long ass time. And so is the same with Roush's detectives, one of which will play a cameo in this one. That's an Easter egg for you.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, the fact that Jim gets to fall asleep for 20 goddamn minutes or however long it is, I feel it's ridiculous.
Yes. Oh, it's beautiful though. Beautiful thing. And Dustin here trying to talk to the officer. I don't know. Can they see the screen yet? I'm not sure. This first guy that's standing in the room.
Let me get it over to this to what we're looking at here. So
okay.
Here we are. There's Dusty Boy.
Yeah, the first guy watching over Dustin, and Dustin trying to, I don't know, have a conversation with him or something, and the guy's not having any of it.
No, I love this dude because he's just like a babysitter for a second. Oh, and also, so for the viewer, Salmon's got the chat log of Dustin here pulled up as well, so we can do recitations and cite the facts, which I think is important because it's.
Sure.
We're getting a very watered down version, which leaves you with a lot of questions. And I feel like since we have the chat logs to reference, it's nice to get that full story.
And at any point while we're watching this, if something that's said comes up, you want me to just pop it into the the find command or whatever. Let's look it up. Might as well.
Yeah. Okay. So we both have control over this. So at any point, don't let me be the one to control this video.
Okay.
While we're going along, if you got something you want to point out, because I know I've got a lot of stuff that we can talk about. Yeah, he doesn't want any of it.
He won't even make eye contact. He's looking around. I love that Dustin's got his pockets turned out. He's got like no shoelaces in his shoes for some reason. They probably took those away from him.
Yeah, I was always wondering, what is that shiny thing? I thought he had like a Discman for a long time. Why'd they let him keep that? Yeah, I love this dude. He's just like, don't care. Oh, the big camera. Oh yeah, I forgot.
NBC.
We're seeing it from the internal police camera, which is why the version is so crappy.
Exactly, but they allow NBC to come in and get a couple of shots done. Look at that camera is too.
Just a bazooka, and feel like just imagine what he is going through right now as he is breathing out like that. What a goddamn this must be. I can't imagine how surreal this must be. Number one, being a weirdo and having to hide that your entire life. And not only that, which we'll find out later, but spoiler alert, he's been through this sort of shit before. And then just have that like huge bazooka style camera that's fucking enormous. Oh my God.
Oh my God. Exactly. And that hair, dude. Has there been a more G.I. Joe hairstyle than that? It's so perfectly helmeted.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like his mama cuts his hair. It's like a number 2 on the clippers, and she just goes around with the finer edges of it all.
Oh, yeah. Well, his family knows their way around a razor.
For sure. Ah! Okay, this is one of my favorite interrogators, too.
Look, he's got the 2 water bottles in his little cargo pockets there.
Yeah, he is prepared.
Okay. And I mean, I'm not saying you're hurting anybody. Yeah. Just slow down. I'm going to have to get some information from you, okay?
Already trying to be too honest.
No.
Yeah.
And you're sitting here telling me your whole life story. Just hold on a sec, okay?
I'm too honest about everything, sir. And
honest. Ding. I wish I had a bell.
I mean, you can see that.
Yeah, if we were thinking ahead, I would have had a counter for all of this.
Oh, yeah. A counter, at least, or a bell, or at least a bottle of liquor. And, take shots, because pay attention, folks. He says honest.
Yeah.
A number of times here. Or he'll get it halfway out, and I'm thinking, well, that's good for half a shot. But yeah, he says honest a lot. And usually, if you're being honest, you don't have to use the word honest.
Right.
Much.
Like, I watch a fair amount of interrogation raw and interrogation breakdown videos from a lot of creators, and they're always there to point that out. Like, and obviously, like, if you ever had to say, I'm being honest, or honestly, or like, anytime somebody says, like, you want the truth, like, what the fuck are we doing here? Like,
yeah, do you want the truth? Do you want me to tell you the truth? Yeah.
Can you handle the truth? It's like, fucking, yeah, I'm sorry. It is a little quiet.
Dudinsky here, detective with the Kentucky Bureau of Investigation, John Dudinsky, which is a hell of a name, by the way.
I love this guy.
Yeah, Dudinsky. But if you look at even this angle, he's got a small pocket with a snap like below his regular, standard hand pocket. That's full. A pocket knife or whatever. Then if you look down on the side of his thigh there, that's got stuff in the pocket. And then on the other side, he has the 2 water bottles. And I love that this cat uses those cargo pants. He needs them. He's got a shitload of stuff to carry around because he's a badass detective.
And not only that, like, look at his belt. He's got shit. He's got accoutrement on his belt. And I feel like that he's stripped down for this interrogation. But this guy is like the Batman of KBI. He comes in, he cuts right through the bullshit, and we'll get to it. One thing he does that may just be exacerbated by the fact that the microphone is on the table is when he does his little pen tap on the table. I feel like that is akin to like Batman punching the Joker in the Dark Knight or whatever.
Nice. Hey, I'm thinking now I need to offer a KBI shirt in my store.
Oh yeah, totally. Cool. Oh my God, it means I'm a police officer.
Yep.
Well, it's there if you want it. Well, just relax, man. Just relax, okay?
Yeah. See, that pen is like the ticking of the heart of the man under the floor.
Let's go talk a little bit, all right? I'm gonna get some information from you real quick.
Also, look at the foot placement of these dudes. Like, when John gets in there, he is straddling Dustin's leg. Like,
oh yeah, totally, huh?
He is as up in his business as he can get. And I think the only thing that keeps him going further is his cane. But I fucking love his, like, right there in your face attitude with Dustin.
I'm not with Dateline, okay? I'm not with Dateline.
Oh, also, hey, everybody in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm going to be terrible at reading this stuff.
I'm with Kentucky Bureau of Investigation, now the Attorney General's office, okay? I'm an agent.
I think there's some echo. Maybe they can, and maybe it's just me. But just to let you know, I'm hearing echo, but it could just be because
You're probably
Discord.
Hearing mine and yours.
Okay, that's what.
So I apologize because I don't know if I can change
it. It's not off-putting. I just didn't know if they could hear it.
I hope not.
No reason to be all nervous or anything. All we're gonna do is we're gonna talk. I'm gonna get
cargo pants are the sign of a man who knows what he needs and carries a lot of it all the times.
Because
honestly,
this is gonna kill my mama.
Well, I'm an only child.
Well, like, okay,
let's do this.
Like, here's the thing. His opening act, if you will, He's like, hey, here we are. I'm Officer Dudinsky. His first thing is, this is going to kill my mama. I'm an only child.
Yeah.
What, from what basis are we starting here? It's not like I didn't do it. It's not like, it's like, here's why I did it. I am guilty, definitely. But it's going to kill my mom.
Right. I'm surprised he goes for, that he mentions, I need to tell my mama. I want to tell her before you guys, show up at my house or something. He's going to say that eventually. I was thinking, like, when you're that close to your mama, maybe you just shut up, let them handle it, because who wants to go to their mom and say, hey, mom, this is what happened? But
it is wild. But and that's the thing, too. Since he's such a child, every time he says that, I just feel like he's his persona he plays as the little boy with the cane, like to garner sympathy, I feel like is so gross.
Oh, it's pretty bad, dude. It's pretty bad. I mean, he's a pitiable character until you see his chat log and
and that's why I'm glad we have that.
What he was in for. Yeah.
The same thing happens with Roush too. Like if you just watch Roush's interrogation, you'd be like, well, how bad could it be? Because he's like denying it up, down, left, right, and center. And it's like the first thing is like basically a reference to his dick within the first 3 sentences. You go, okay, locked in. All right.
Yeah.
Know what we're talking about.
Like you want to talk to me,
okay? Also, because Dustin opens up so fast, I feel like John here blows through a lot of stuff that he would have to drag out of other people, so we lose a lot of details.
Right.
Which is a bummer.
Because, I can't walk without this.
I understand. Okay.
So Dustin's saying, if I hit pause, okay, yeah. I didn't know if I hit the space bar if it would pause it, but it does. Dustin's saying here, I can't go to jail because I have this cane, and I don't know.
Skeezy.
Somebody else said that that they thought that he had a standard wheelchair in jail, and because I was thinking, like, you can't have somebody with a cane in jail, right? Like,
yeah, I don't know. He had one
weapon. Like
in the later footage where he's like arraigned or whatever, he's in that orange jumpsuit. He still got it with him, so wherever he was being held, he was allowed to have it. So, but yeah, that is an interesting thing because like you got to bring that into a. But they wouldn't probably put him in a facility with other. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Before I ask you any questions, you got to know your rights.
New username, Dustin's dead mom.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say may be used against you in court or in other proceedings. You have the right to have an attorney before you make any statement or answer any questions. You can have your attorney present during questions.
Like, as an aside, I have heard the Miranda rights so many times because of my interest in interrogation footage. Like, I can recite them in my sleep backwards.
By refusing to answer questions.
Right. Oh, and that's something that I noticed when I was rewatching this recently. Is the verbiage is just slightly different, and it's curious that that they're all so similar across the United States, but at the same time they put their own twist on it.
Yeah, it's funny how I feel like there are a lot of colloquialisms mixed in because some people are masterful at it. Like, my God, there are some interrogators who will come in like da 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 da, and they will start their spiel, fly through their Miranda rights, and I feel like I missed them and I'm looking for them. But the person that interrogated him just goes, yeah. They go, okay, can you initial here saying that I read this card to you? And they'll since they're able to lie to you legally, they can really get creative with this shit, which I think is. I'm of two minds about it, but it's a great show to watch.
Oh, it totally is. And it's as much as you have seen interrogation footage, I've seen it. Probably most of the people that watch TCAP regularly have all also have the same mind where we enjoy seeing interrogations and watching people under the gun and in the spotlight, having to admit to some stupid shit they've done. We all know that you don't talk, like you lawyer up if particularly when you're innocent, of course, you lawyer up because you're in some hot water. And watching this one with Dustin, it's like, Dudinsky says, it sounds like you want to talk about this.
Oh, yeah,
Let
he
me get
wants
this
to-
paperwork out of the way. And Dustin just doesn't flinch. At no point does he say, well, maybe I should get a lawyer.
No, he
Maybe I
says
should
he
be
hates
quiet."
lawyers. They'll call it housekeeping. They'll call it paperwork. They'll minimize it any way they can. And here's
Right.
the thing. Everybody will tell you this, and I'll tell you it too, but no one does it. Is like when you're a witness coming in, they will not read you your Miranda rights by and large. But as soon as they go, here, I've got to read this to you, that means you're a suspect, get a lawyer. But if
Yeah.
you're dumb, you'll be like, I'll answer whatever you want.
Well, that's because he's just being honest. He just wants to be honest. So
Yeah.
he's going to,
I get
he's portraying the honest. But man, he probably, I don't know. I don't know how well they did across the board with people busted in Kentucky, but he probably did a lot more time because he talked. when
Totally.
He should have just shut up.
I totally get the principle behind it, though. You want to, like, you've obviously been caught red-handed in something, and your mind is like, no, let me spin this. So you can see in a lot of these interrogations, or like the Predator raw footages or whatever, the dudes who talked, they sang like canaries, but the dudes who didn't, they didn't say jack shit. And that's the thing you got to do. There's no walking the line, because as soon as they get you open, bam.
Yeah.
It's
No, he probably should have been watching a lot more Dateline and a lot less wrestling.
Yeah, like, or whatever. Like, that's the thing about these people, though, is like, when you're interested in the crime, you're not interested in the pattern of it. Like, it's someone who likes to play basketball versus someone who likes to watch basketball and likes to watch the stats and the
Right.
players. I was going to say characters, but that's diminutive. But yeah, all the people involved. Like, there's the stats person and the action person. Let me just check in with the chat here, everybody. Welcome, everybody. The Duchess of Cornville is here. Izzy Stardust, Akoto Jest, Chupa Grandson.
Chatterbait Billy.
Chatterbait Billy is here. My buddy
Nice.
Glueface Bear is here. We have a full house.
Nice.
So let's get this baby rolling once again.
I'll be honest.
Be
Honest.
You don't like lawyers.
No.
I could put together like the way you do. What is the word for? Oh, it was for.
Oh, Kenneth Brinkman?
Yeah, for Jungle Mania. Honest. I know that Lauren gets tagged with honest a lot, or Claude and honest, but I think Dustin nails the honesty of it all.
Right.
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
What this says here is that I've read you your rights. Do you understand them?
Yes, sir.
You
I hate
understand that You
lawyers.
can stop talking at any time you want to. You can have an attorney. You can have an attorney with you during questioning. It's 11:09.
Yeah, I
The
forgot.
time change, which means he came a long ass way.
Yeah,
A
we're-
long
Central
ass
time.
way.
I think he traveled 2.5 hours
Oh,
in his mama's car.
I did a lot of wrong. And
I did a lot of wrong.
If you
Like,
understand your
what the
rights,
fuck? And the fact that John has to sit there and pretend like this isn't juicy and just fill out this paperwork before he like blows his top, before he even gets him to sign this shit. Like,
Right.
his patience is off the charts. And when
Yeah, he knows it's gold. He's like, I got to get his
he's like,
signature on
please,
here.
God, shut the fuck up. Well, he's like trying to fill it out as fast as he fucking can to be like, okay, sign here now. Spill away.
I've read them to you. If you'll sign right here for me, where it says
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of when I'm on a like on a podcast with you, and before we even start, we're just rattling off about whatever we're going to talk about. It's like, oh, all this stuff is gold. What are we doing? Let's shut up.
Right,
Get the
right. And
Podcast started.
that's the thing. Is like, but he's got to get that pen in hand to sign that
Yeah.
thing.
just like I've ever done.
Stupidest thing I ever done.
Like, what the fuck?
He signed anything.
Okay. Now this waiver down here says that you having the above statement of your rights read and explained to you, and you fully understand them, and that's correct, right?
Correct.
You hereby waive these rights at
I'd rather
11:10
be released
p.m.,
to the
and
custody
you're
of my
going to
mama.
talk to me, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, sir, I will. You know, the
He
really
sounds like a
bad
new
part of
puppy you
this-
bring home and have to crate for the night. The way he keeps whining. He goes,
Totally.
like
Dude,
in between talking, he's just like this whiny little like Labrador retriever in your tub.
Oh man, dude. And right here, you know what the really bad part is? He's gonna blame Chris Hansen.
He lied to me.
I
He
love this
said you were
dude.
under arrest and I could leave.
BC guy said I wouldn't be under arrest, I could leave.
Just sound like that.
Hold on a second. Just sound right here. See, he has to tell him to hold on a sec.
For us, they're not policemen, they're news people.
I know, but that's just wrong.
That's
He
just
lied to me.
wrong.
Right.
I know what I came up here
Which, I
for,
mean,
but he
understand-
lied to me.
I
God damn it.
understand why I'm
Yeah, he said I wouldn't be arrested. He shouldn't
But
say that.
He shouldn't have lied to me.
Me
He shouldn't have lied to me.
He should have said, well, you are under arrest.
Chris Hansen doesn't have that authority, Dustin.
Like I said.
Justin.
I'm gonna turn this on
Should have
real
watched
quick,
more
all right?
Dateline and less wrestling.
Videotaping.
He would know that.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
a
take
little less raw and a little more
old-fashioned.
60-minute. There's nothing rhymes with anything that WWE
A little
does.
more Dateline Raw.
Yeah, Dateline
Predator
Raw.
Raw.
Yeah, Predator
I didn't know
Raw.
what this was when I saw it. I was like, where you put the tape in?
Yeah, I was supposed to tell my buddy.
He does that laugh a few times.
Yeah,
dude, that-
anytime he can latch on to anything that is not him being in a different state to have sex with a child, he'll
Yeah.
bam on it like glue.
and it's so cringy too. It's that
Yeah.
half-hearted, like it's funny, right? Isn't it? Come on.
It's the same energy as the person who is trying to get into your clique in high school or junior high. Like a little too eager to please, a little too laughy at all the jokes, and you just want to be like, God damn it. But here we have to put up with
What
it.
did I just say? Why was that funny? I don't know.
Yeah, but like, Mom. And then he brings up his buddy, and like, you know, if the lore of his buddy, like he was on some show somewhere talking about this poor low-level wrestling guy.
Right.
So sad.
One of those this week so he could write his book.
Oh yeah, he's gonna write a book.
Yeah.
Anyway, back at it.
Mention no names 'cause
Yeah.
I don't need to be.
Oh yeah, he's gonna write a book.
Well, it's
Anyway, so what are you doing here?
23:11 and, I'm talking to Dustin. What's your last name, Dustin?
McPhetridge.
McPhetridge?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the whole world will find me easily.
All right.
Who is he like when he turns his head? Where do you think he's talking to?
Trouble. I don't like trouble. I'd have never hurt her. I was
Well,
gonna
It's-
meet
Lauren
her, I
does
was gonna
that.
Force her into
When Lauren's under fire from Hanson, Lauren's looking away, you know, like peering between his fingers, trying to find any semblance of his past life or something, you know. Like he
It's-
doesn't want to look directly at Hanson.
That's what a lot of people, but beyond To Catch a Predator, but To Catch a Predator especially, they'll do that. They'll look to like Tim Isaacs did this shit. He'll like find a third imaginary person in the room and lock eyes with them. To be like,
Yeah,
here,
totally,
this guy knows what I'm talking about. This imaginary dude in the corner by the China hutch.
Yep. Or Gilbert Sutherland. I don't know if you ever watched that dude. You mean to tell me she's not 18? Looks all over the place. Like, oh, no way.
Yeah,
Good
What?
stuff.
thing,
No way.
This morning, I think it was 11, 12 Eastern time, she had called me and come see me, please, because my parents are going to be out of town, please.
I wonder how
Okay, I was going to
accurate the pleas were of this decoy, right? Like,
You know, I do believe, and I don't have the memory capacity to recall if I heard this specifically in any phone calls or not, but I'm pretty sure that Perverted Justice would go hard on the dudes if they thought they could get them to come. So even, you know, like you hear James Rutherford say, you know, I wasn't even going to come finally. I believe that's probably true. He probably did keep driving. But then they call him and say, come on back, you know, like, oh, you're gonna lie to me? Now you're not really gonna come? You know, like,
it's so strange. Like there are so many red flags, and you're right. In all your videos, they just blow right past them like checkpoints.
Right.
Oh, it is. Oh, that's wild.
She was going to call and we was going to talk and discuss stuff and everything because she has called me a few times.
Now, keep in mind, John has not asked a question yet.
I mean,
Right. There you go.
it was out of the ordinary, and like the NBC guy said, she said she was 13. I thought she was 17. Sometimes I have a bad memory. I know 17.
There's never anything offered for this either. It's not like he was talking to another 17-year-old, which would also be illegal, the things he was doing. But
Right.
this always confounded me because he throws it out and be like, I thought she was 17. 3 and 7 do not look similar. Or
Right.
are you just stupid, or are you just admitting to talking to another underage person in so close a genre that you confuse the two?
Right. At the very least, say 31. Then you could play the dyslexia game. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
be like,
31.
31. Or like, I thought her name was 22. Something like, did you say something aside from like, I thought it was 17 over 13. I thought it was slightly less illegal. What? Are you fucking kidding me?
I was talking to her, and I was thinking, okay, she turned 17, and then when she turns 18, I'll meet her.
Brilliant plan, by the way.
And if anything's meant to be, then.
Well, you're kind of starting like just tell me a whole story out there, but not from the beginning. Why don't you start from the beginning of how you met her and?
Okay, I can. I was just being honest.
Well, be honest from the beginning.
Yeah,
honest.
Okay.
Be honest from the
You
beginning.
jumbled it all up there for me. Start from the beginning. How'd you happen to meet her?
Okay, I was in a Yahoo chat room, Tennessee chat room.
Okay, so full disclosure, if you were ever in any Yahoo chat room, you ended up talking sexually provocative with somebody. That's a universal law, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that was what it was for, no matter what it was. If it was cooking, or if it was birdhouse making, or if it was like, your enthusiast for a certain type of motorcycle, somebody was sharing dick pics with you.
Yeah, exactly. And he talks about his favorites were like Tennessee 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. And that just cracks me up because you would find ones that clicked with you if you were going to be in chatting with people. It'd be like, this one is either there's never nobody in there or whatever. Right. But he's got the set numbers like 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9.
Yeah,
it's funny to me.
Also, I can identify with that, which is kind of disgusting that I can identify with Dustin. But like back in the day when I was doing all that shit in Yahoo too, yeah, I had ones that I had, like bookmarked or whatever it was back in the day. It was like locals where it was talking about the music scene or about music or whatever. So yeah, I had all of those shits too, and they all had like the lame ass numbers after them or whatever.
Right, but it was good to be. Well, like with anything, it was a social thing. So you wanted to be recognized. You wanted to show up in the chat and people say, hi, and give you a hug or whatever, the emoji hug and stuff. And
what a wild time. Like, so much of my life was played out in text, where like, in between two asterisks where people were just dictating emotion to me. Not emotion, but motion.
Right, yeah.
Oh, it was weird. 90s.
Yeah, it was a Tennessee chat room. It was probably 1, 2.
It is sort of annoying too how they have to feign ignorance about what a chat room is.
Usually ones I go through.
Yeah.
They're like, what's that? What's a computer?
I've only talked to one other underage girl, and that was a problem, like I told the NBC guy.
Well, we'll get to that. Tell me about this girl.
Yeah.
Just trying to be too honest,
I'm just
sir.
trying to explain everything, and I'm bad at telling stories. All right. I met her, I talked to her some, and she was real friendly, real nice, and everything. And like I said, I thought she said she was 17.
Why bring that up again? Like,
there's
what?
no problem with talking to somebody or calling somebody.
Oh, man.
At the age. I don't think there is there?
This feels just like he's
Is it illegal
losing
to
his
talk
mind.
to somebody under the age of 18? Yeah, Dustin.
Yeah, this.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what this is? This kind of feels like the reverse of the Reed technique, where like the interrogator will try to get them to admit to a lesser, like, oh, it was self-defense. Like if there's a murder, he say, oh, they came at you. Yeah, it's self-defense. This feels like the opposite of that, where he's trying to backdoor his way in by being like, it's not illegal to make a phone call, is it? And like, if he says yes, it's like a slight admission in his favor.
Right.
But like, it's a complete non sequitur because she wasn't 17 and he never called her. That's like, what? Okay,
Good
so what,
point.
the price of tea in China also.
No problem talking to somebody who's 17.
Yeah, see, John calls him out. He's like, yeah,
Go ahead.
I mean,
you can call someone if you
asking
want.
The law, because I'm not. I know you can't do nothing with anybody under 18 if you're over 18. I know that much.
I feel like we all know
I
that.
didn't know if it was bad for me to pick up the phone and talk to a 17-year-old and say, "Hey, how are you?" I didn't know.
Because that's all what he would be saying,
So
right?
you're talking to her.
Right.
Yeah, we're friends and everything. She's being sweet and joking around and stuff. And I mean, it's in.
Did you ever see her?
I seen photo of her or something on her MySpace.
Okay.
And
Did she ever see you?
I I gave her my MySpace page. I mean, I share information. I'm a very open person. I mean, it's like I told her a few days after we started talking.
Just like pay attention to what's been said here. Nothing. Like he asked like how they met, and it's like, well, she was sweet and we were talking blah blah. Like it's the most generic shit. And like what like one of my like whatever let's call them desert island jobs instead of desert island babes. Like if I got to pick a job, I would love to be an interrogator cop once, and just like because I want somebody to repeat what the stupid person is saying back to them, and like have it be a soundboard and check it off and be like, does that sound like what a human would say? But no one ever does. No. They just keep asking the same question and allow them to keep going in this circular shit. And thank God John eventually cracks down on that shit. But it is so frustrating to, like, it's nonsense.
Right. When John actually, when he eventually wraps it up, it's pretty quick. Like when he finally, okay, I've got everything I need. It's pretty much like, okay, I'll be back. And I like that.
Yeah, this interview or interrogation, whatever you want to call it, is a double-edged sword because I love how cutthroat John Dudinsky is as an interrogator. He is one of the best because I feel like he exhibits enough skills during this video that really show off his talent.
I think so, yeah.
And the fact that Dustin was giving it up so quick, I would love to see him with a competent cat and mouse type situation. But we don't have that. It's like a cat, or it's like a tiger and like a meerkat that someone shot in the ass with a pellet gun 9 times, and so it has like rear end nerve damage. So it's completely pointless to watch.
Nice reference. Nice analogy.
It just feels weird to me.
Yeah, it is.
Because I want to see, you want to see the lion hunt. You don't want to see the lion, like, you know, everyone gets pissed off when the T-Rex has to go and eat a goat off a platform. You want to see it hunt.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me John Dudinsky out in an open field interrogating, like, oh, God, that lady, and now I can't think of her name. Anyone competent, I'll take anybody.
Right.
I like to make friends. The internet's the best way I can make friends because people look bad upon me like I'm retarded or something in person. So it's hard to make friends other than that.
So that's the most real, I would guess, that Dustin is throughout, because obviously kids are cruel.
Right.
And, people are cruel. And with his condition, I'm sure he heard it all.
Right.
And so he found solace in the internet because he could just be who he really is. I mean, he's got cerebral palsy. He's not even, he's probably learning, he's probably, had learning difficulties, but he's not, he doesn't have a mental issue. This is
right.
Like it's muscles or whatever.
That's, we're seeing that genuine window. Yeah. You're totally right, because I'm sure, because this is the only time where he shows emotion. Like he never shows anything other than embarrassment. There's no regret. There's no remorse. There's no nothing. Right. But I'm sure right now he's thinking about something a fucking mean kid said to him when he was a kid. And that's why he's able to tap in and like have this semi-believable experience.
Right.
Akoto Jess says, read technique being mentioned. Do you do any non-TCAP interrogation breakdowns? Asking me. This is the first interrogation breakdown we're ever doing on this channel. So no is the answer to that question. But if you like them, I can do them. I love
But the
this
true
shit.
crime stuff you've done, like with that other fellow who's brilliant, I can't think of his name.
Yeah, we've done
that
true
stuff you've
crime.
done is awesome over on Twitch, right?
We've done some there and some here. I'm coming back to here mostly, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, I love doing true crime related stuff. I've just not done any interrogation breakdowns because I feel like I'm underqualified, and there's already a lot of people out there who I feel like if you were to hold my shit up to theirs, it would be like worthless.
No, I read you. I know how that goes.
Yeah, what time will tell.
I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff that happens on the internet, like this, and people lie.
Like this, and people lie, as if that's different.
It happened to him, not that he did it.
it's just, and then we just started talking, and I don't know, I lost my head. I done something
Dudinsky.
stupid and
Yeah.
stuff, and I egged it on, and she encouraged, and she egged a little bit, and I mean, like I said, today, she egged me coming up here. I didn't have no plans of doing it. I really didn't want to, but she's a sweet person.
So he's okay. So here's the thing. In the chat, did they make plans, or is he right? Like, were they just talking sexy, and this is what clinched it? Because you have the chat handy.
Well, I mean, we can go to the very last thing that's said here on the chat.
Was there a plan?
Love you tonight. You better call tomorrow. Yeah, I will. Promise. Hey, babe, call me ASAP. Hey, and then the bust house address. I love you. Want to see you. Talk to you later. That was at 1:10 p.m. and he ended up showing up that night.
Okay, but there was a plan then.
There was a plan. Oh, he talks about screwing her in the house and
yeah. Okay, so that's why I wanted to make sure, because what I was gonna do too. Didn't you read this his chat log on one of your lives?
I haven't read Dustin yet. It's pretty long.
Okay,
yeah, I haven't read it yet.
I wasn't sure because I was gonna go back and refresh my memory with that because it would be easier than reading it myself. But damn, yeah. But here's the thing. Yeah, I think because there are some dudes in this show who weren't going to show up until the call, or were, whatever. But I feel like Dustin here was firmly planted in the idea of like, hey, I'm driving 2.5 hours one way today.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he did. He did.
I mean, come on. He fucking threw KY and a razor in his car.
He says here, oh, you're too good to me. And she says, you're good to me too. Are you there? What are you doing? No, I'm not here. I ran off to Kentucky to fuck the shit out of my girlfriend.
Oh my God. Cool. Yeah, that's what I would say. Like every time I was sexting back in the day and someone would drop a real spicy line on me, I'd be like, LOL, brah.
LOL, cool, brah.
Cool.
Where's your mom? She's sleeping.
That makes me feel cool downstairs.
Oh, dude. I thought you was wanting to be cooled off down there.
Worst Cool Whip in integration ever.
I didn't want to upset her, and that was stupid. I should have told her no.
This happens a lot in old interrogation footage too. That buzzing sound of somebody's cell phone.
I wasn't thinking.
Oh, right.
Like, okay,
that gets me.
Meet her, hang out.
She egged me come up here.
Nothing bad.
Nothing bad.
Stupid thing is, I've heard reports like this.
Whoops.
In Virginia and other states and stuff like that. And these weirdos will bring ropes and knives.
You're one of those weirdos.
And stuff.
That's right.
Do you have anything like that in your car?
No.
Would you mind if we looked in your car?
I'll be honest, tell you everything that's in it, as far as I know.
I think what he says coming up here is hilarious.
What I'd like to do is get you to say it's okay for us to look in your car.
Yeah, it's fine.
Because we want to verify that you didn't bring nothing to kill her.
Kill her. We want to verify you didn't bring anything up here to kill her. Like, woof. Like, I feel like that was a brilliant move on his part, though. Because even, like, what's worse, like, arguably, rather, what is arguably worse than what he is accused of? Like ending someone. So if you can say, hey, we want to verify you weren't here to do the one thing
that's worse than what you actually came to do.
Then, hey, maybe that'll be a card in your favor. So yeah, he can't wait to sign that shit.
See, now, here's the thing. Because, Dudinsky's a pro here. When he has Dustin sign the, that I read your Miranda rights, can you just initial here?
Mm-hmm.
And that you were not coerced in any way. It seems like the perfect time while the pen is in hand to say, by the way, we need to search your vehicle. So do you think it was his plan or something? Like, why didn't he have him sign it then? Did he wait until the right time of the conversation to say, oh, speaking of driving up here?
I think that's what he is doing is perfect. What he is doing is building rapport with Dustin. Then you can see he'll do it throughout this entire interview. He'll drop everything in there, like he must have like a playlist in his head that he's listening to where every like whatever 8 minutes he'll ask him for something because he knows he's gained that amount of trust yet. But
got you.
I mean, but that's the thing. He's using this beautiful technique on a rabbit that's already in the cage.
Yeah, right.
So,
it's almost wasted. You're right. We don't want to see him eat a goat off a platform.
Right. We're watching a guy get like he's coating his boots in buck urine, and he's getting camo. He's got a ghillie suit. He's got a high-powered rifle. And then he steps out into the woods, and there, 300 yards into the distance, is like this like lopsided, long-haired rabbit in a cage, like eating some Timothy hay. And he's like, God damn it. Like... Where's the grizzly bear? He's asking.
The only bad things I brought was...
Oh, P.S. Yeah, so Glueface Bear said, yeah, I did say KY and a razor, both coming up later in the show. So stay tuned for that.
Right.
My electric razor.
Here we go.
Because she said she wanted to be shaved down there, and I don't know why I did that.
I have no idea why I did that.
And I think I can't...
See, here's the thing. I want John to ask his question here, but Dustin is going to roll right through with this bombshell.
Remember, I thought I brought some hand moisturizer or KY jelly. I don't know which it is.
Okay.
I can't remember.
Well,
okay, dude, hand moisturizer or KY. It might have been KY.
Right.
But
like,
just as equally, it could have been, it's one of those 50-50 things. It could have been hand lotion.
I'm so angry at what we are lost because Dustin can't shut the fuck up for 20 goddamn seconds. Like, he drops the electric razor thing. Hey, P.S., I brought an electric razor to shave her. Yes, down there. P.S. She's 13, so the questionable amount of whatever is there to be removed, number one. And as John is about to dig into that meaty ham hock of like interrogation information, he goes, oh, and P.S. the only way to like Dustin is doing John Dudinsky's job, but he's doing it backwards. Because instead of saying, you know, John's like, hey, we want to make sure that the kill thing wasn't there and it's just the molesting thing. Dustin is like, hey, I was going to shave her pubes and KY. What?
but it might not be KY.
It might just be hand moisturizer. We'll get to the bottom of this right after this. Just kidding. Here we go.
I don't know. I don't know why I even brought it.
I don't even know why I brought it.
I just picked it up.
Hey, Justin.
Ask me how many times I've been leaving the house and just grabbed something on a whim and threw it in my back seat.
Totally.
But that would be hilarious if I could like cut to my back seat and I open it up and just like 900 tubes of KY fly out of it. And I go, hey, you got me.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out real quick too.
Yeah.
The is it irony? No, it's not irony. It's a coincidence that he brought KY to Kentucky, which is KY. So I
always bring AZ lotion.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that? Nice. Oh my God! Like missed opportunity. KY opening up a brand like per state. Like boom, money in the bank.
CA jelly. Yeah. AZ jelly.
You could get even non-weirdo, like non-dry sex weirdos to buy that shit. I'd get a tube or two.
If we're gonna talk and be honest with each other, okay? I'm gonna be honest with you. I know where you're coming from. It's hard to meet people. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I picked it up.
Okay. Hold on a second.
I picked it up.
I know how hard it is to meet people. See that?
No ring.
I'm 40 years
John
old.
Dudinsky. Single ladies.
I try and meet people all the time.
That's been a while, so maybe not.
I understand what it's like to get on the internet. You know what I mean? To meet people. Okay? I understand what it's like to go visit people.
Which is so funny. Like that is he knows the intellect that he's dealing with in Dustin, so he has to say, I know what it's like to go visit people.
Right. Like, what kind of a statement is that? Like, okay.
Yeah, I'm a 40-year-old trying to find a lady online, so I know what it's like to go visit people.
Talk about non sequitur, but it's necessary with Dustin.
Hey, I know what it's like to add a little too much salt to my spaghetti sauce, Dustin. I'm there with you, man. Like, what? John.
That's right.
He's just throwing shit at the wall because he knows he can get whatever he wants out of Dustin.
I never get in my car and throw KY jelly in there without a reason. All right?
I'm being honest.
Why did you throw the KY jelly in the car?
Like I said, I don't know if it's KY or hand lotion.
What were you going to use it for? You can, one's for sex, one's for washing your hands.
I would like to take 1 second to point out that I love John. Don't get me wrong. I love him. But you do not use either of those to wash your hands.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
You don't.
He got a little tripped up. It's just like you said. He's a finely tuned hunter who's it's all going way too easy for him, and he's getting sloppy because it's not what he expected.
He expected he's like a greyhound that expected to chase that rabbit right out of the gate, but like. He's like now a greyhound version of Sideshow Bob, hitting rake after rake after rake after rake, and he's getting frustrated. And I'm frustrated for him.
You're not going to wash your hands with KY, right?
You're not going to wash your hands with KY.
What were you going to use it for?
I guess.
Was it in case you had sex with her?
Yeah, but I was going to try not to.
I understand.
I was going to try not to do that. That's a classic TCAP line. I was going to try not to do that.
Because that's the thing. John does exactly what I wish all interrogators have the balls to do, but I understand that most suspects are different. But the fact that he's like, no, what is it for? What is it for? What is it for? And he's like, is it for this? And he goes, yes, but I was going to try not to.
Just being honest.
Yeah. It's like the Sarah Boone thing. If you're familiar with her case, she zipped her fiance up in a suitcase and left him there to die. But her thing was not intentional. Not intentional. I put him in there, yes. Yeah. Not intentional. Like this. Sure. Same ballpark.
Yeah, it's hard.
But if it would have happened, you had the KY jelly, you were prepared.
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you, and I mean.
Okay, well let's do this.
I don't know.
Let's do this right here.
Like I said, I'm an idiot. And I mean.
Well, I'm not calling you an idiot. You know?
I'm calling myself.
Well, I'm not going to call you one. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to listen to your story, okay? And we're going to talk about a few things that are in your chat just to make sure everything's okay.
Make sure everything's okay.
Kind of
I love that line.
Yeah.
2005 PT.
Everything's okay, John. Don't you worry.
Yeah, the chat will prove that.
Yeah. It's actually in my mother's name and in my name. We got a co-ownership of a Midnight Purple PT Cruiser.
What color is it?
Depends on how the sun hits it. It's a bluish purple.
Like, I realize that Dustin is trying to get things around and talk about anything that isn't the matter at hand. But pull your head out of your ass. On what planet would you answer like this? Like, it depends on how the sun hits it. Are you fucking kidding? Does John seem like the type of guy who wants to talk about shades of hues of different...
Right. Well, he does it with his eyes, too. What color are your eyes? Well, I don't know. Leans forward for him to look. It's like, dude, you know what color your eyes are. Shut up.
Yeah. Everybody who does that, I feel like they purposefully do that to, get in people's faces. That's why, I'm glad I never have to ask people their eye color. I would not like to work at the DMV or any of that shit. It'd be the worst.
I'm being honest.
No, you're not. Being honest. It's not being honest.
I've only seen one other one like it.
Classic. PT Cruiser. Legendary, right?
Yep.
And he remembers his license plate. Oh, boy, yeah. There was a hot moment in that time period where, GM and Chrysler were like, I'm going to make the stupidest car with the HHR and the PT Cruiser.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I would love to see, because I know what they were trying to do, re-envision the old station wagons, like the Woodies and shit.
Right.
But misfire on all sides. Whoops.
What was the sports car that they came out with at the same time?
The HHR?
Is that what it's called?
The HHS.
It looked like an old, almost like an old jalopy or something.
Yeah, the front of it looked like an old Studebaker or some shit. It was like their answer to the PT, the Prowler rather, the Plymouth Prowler, which everyone.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, but it's the same basic idea, except they were both what the fuck? They were both having the same bad ideas years apart. Anyway, sorry, not about this at all.
I couldn't tell you.
PT Cruiser breakdown.
I've had it for 5 years.
Yep.
Somebody ever steals it, I'll yeah.
Well,
that's pretty good.
He should have been Goat Boy on SNL.
That's the only vehicle I've lost. So.
Nice. Just being honest.
Just being honest, sir.
I told you already. My name is John Dudinsky, right?
Yes.
And I'm with the Attorney General's office.
Which means I'm a police officer.
I mean, please don't arrest me because I can't survive in jail.
Well, we're gonna talk about some stuff, all right? So just
calm down, drink your water.
Relax.
I can't drink water.
It's kind of like Chris Hansen. Are you the police? We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
It says that. We'll get to that in a minute. And that just doesn't say yes or no, but in the predator's mind, it's like, fuck, it's the cops.
Oh, quick closure on the anecdote. The HHR and the PT Cruiser were actually designed by the same person. Citation needed, Ryan Maxwell. I believe it, though. They're both ugly as fuck.
Nice.
We got time to talk, okay? So
we got time to talk. Like as if that's in question.
Right.
Sir, do we have time to talk? Being interrogated for a horrible crime. Do we have the time?
What's the camera recording or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that, protects both of us. You can't say I did something to you in here.
But mostly screws you.
Like, as a quick aside, yes, number one, yes. But as a quick aside, obviously now it'd be like bootleg and shit. But if they had to, like, let's say record all interrogation in the 40s, like that's when it started and we just had film reels of interrogation footage.
Man.
Like, imagine how many honest, raw beatings you would witness.
Fuck, dude.
Holy shit.
That's dark, dude. That's so dark.
They'd be like, yeah, we're definitely going to video or film these things. It wouldn't even be videotape. We're going to film these things so we can play it. And then you can see, yeah, we beat the confession out of him. So guilty, swish, yikes.
Yeah, no shit, dude. Good
wild,
point.
Wild alternate history theory.
You did something you didn't do.
I mean, like I said, I'm going to cooperate because,
Corroborate.
I'm so guilty. I'm under a rock.
Nuclear.
I'm under a rock, sir.
Okay, what this states
is under a rock an actual statement? I've never heard that. He says something like, I'm cool as a clam later, too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's freezing in the clutch because I think he's thinking of being in between a rock and a hard place, but it was again. He's misfiring. John's misfiring. Everybody is off their game because it's like putting, two-stroke gas into a Ferrari engine.
Nice.
A complete search of the premises, property, or vehicle located at Bowling Green Police Department.
Bowling Green.
Hold on a second. Check this out. So I just Googled I'm under a rock. and now that I read it, yeah, it makes sense. But the description of it is so funny for Dustin. It's used to describe a person who doesn't know something any normal human being is supposed to know, usually in relation to some recent events. Like,
well, okay. Yeah,
he is under a rock.
I guess, but you would say living under a rock or living in a cave, but you wouldn't say you're so guilty you're under a rock. Like you're so guilty that you're completely unaware. He's just like, yeah, he's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, John Dudinsky is a legend. The typing square rather, is correct.
What was all those cameras here? Is that NBC or what?
Dustin, you were just at a house with Chris Hansen. What do you think?
Well, you're going to have to discuss that.
I think it's hilarious that all these guys are like, hey, don't they need my permission? Like, is that the biggest concern right now?
Right.
Like, hey,
right. Yeah. Look, can you turn off the cameras? I know you need my permission.
Yeah. Don't I have to sign a waiver?
Camera.
Yeah. Did you have access to the green room? Was craft services open to you? No, you're in a sting, bitch. Like, what the? You have to sign a fucking waiver to get your picture on the TV.
I don't have anything to do with that. I'm with the police agency.
I thought you all had done this before. Like I said, I've read about.
Okay, this states that you consent to a complete search of your vehicle located at Bowling Green Police Department and more particularly described as a 2005 PT Cruiser bluish purple.
Bluish purple. Blank is the license plate.
John Dudinsky, known to you as an agent of the Office of the Attorney General, and to such other officers deemed necessary to assist. You know that you have a right to refuse consent, and you voluntarily give up that right. You know that the agent does not have a search warrant. You have not been threatened or coerced in any way, nor have you been promised any favor or benefit. You have read this consent form or had it read to you, and you understand it. The date is 20th day of October 2007, and the time is 11:21 p.m. Is that correct?
So,
and you're going to allow us to look inside your vehicle, right?
See, he says look inside your vehicle instead of search.
Right.
He says,
but he does say I voluntarily give up my right. And it's like, dude, those are such powerful words. Take a moment to realize you're giving up your right to something.
Yeah, anytime someone says the word right to you and they are in a position of authority above you, shut the fuck up. But like another example of how Dudinsky is handling this shit. He's like, we want to look at your car to make sure that you didn't bring anything to kill her with. Instead of saying, we want to search your car for the sex jelly. Like, make it seem like, hey, good news. Like, because now if you say, hey, Dustin, do you have a Michael Myers style butcher knife in here that you were going to kill her with? He can go, hey, good news. No, it's just sex jelly and an electric razor. So he goes,
knuckle bump. Huh?
Yeah. Hey, good news. I didn't bring any murder equipment. High five.
Right.
Nice, Dustin.
Yeah, we just want to make sure you didn't bring anything to kill her instead of saying, we just want to gather evidence to convict you.
Yeah, but like there are so many ways to say shit, and he is a master.
Okay, I just need you to sign right there.
Dustin is a
An
huge
initial
history
here.
buff.
An initial here.
That's all that's in that bag. As far as in the back, they might be 2 pairs of shoes.
Here's the thing. Why does he have so many pairs of shoes, number one? Because if he's wearing that pair and he's got 2 in the car, God knows how many he's got at home. Like, how much walking is Dustin doing? Not to be like, up his ass about it and to be like, but like, seriously, what the fuck? Why do you have so many shoes, Dustin?
It's hard for
If you were a collector, you wouldn't disrespect them by putting them in the PT.
If there is, I'm going to be mad because I don't know about them.
Okay.
There might be a few DVDs.
DVDs?
Promotion, but that's about it.
Could you print your name here for me?
And like,
please?
why is he carrying around DVDs of
address.
his buddy's wrestling promotion? Like,
Right.
where are you going, Dustin, that you're handing out DVDs for your buddy?
Dude, Ricky Morton. No, dude.
Ricky Morton.
It's so funny. It's so perfect. Ricky Morton and Dustin McPhetridge teaming up to do promos, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Hey, would I'll write your address in for you. What's your
I'll do
address?
it.
I like to imagine that when it's silent for long periods, that there's like a string of expletives.
I like to think of that too. But but here's the thing. Okay, so here is one of my least favorite characters. I'm glad,
I don't like her either. Yeah.
I hate her in this, and I hate her even more in the Jim Roush interrogation. She is the exact opposite of John Dudinsky, and only slightly worse than the other guy who does Jim with the high voice.
Yeah, dude. I do like her with Lurch, though. Well, I'm sure you have, Travis.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. What she does, Travis, that's funny. And they all have their strong suits, but by and large, she feels weak sauce.
Why is she even in here? I forget. I guess we're going to find out, but she doesn't stick around.
No, I'm glad she leaves. I feel like she just comes in to drop off the snacks.
That's right. She had food. That's right. I forgot.
But like, why? Catherine, and like you can see John, you'll see it as it plays out, but I want you to keep a special eye out to it because John is incredibly cold to her, I feel. He keeps his face turned away from her. He's always got his back to her. He wants her out of there because like she has the potential to fuck shit up.
Oh, I just realized she's got the cargo pants on too. I guess that was a uniform. I figured that was his choice.
I wonder if it's KB because they're all KBI. I wonder if that's part like, especially now that during a bust, they probably are like, wear your cargo pants to get all your crazy bust things. They always over prepare.
Do we know what kind of snacks she brought? I can't remember if it's mentioned.
No, but it looks like Famous Amos cookies from here. I do like, here's another point towards John. Like, he is so considerate. He writes out Dustin's address. Like,
You guys ain't gonna
he's not a,
search the house right now.
a hostile cop. He's a very accommodating dude.
I just need to put that
Okay,
on.
because I was gonna say if y'all are, let me at least call my mom and tell her what an idiot.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Dustin saying, before you go search my house, can I call my mom? And I think I would feel like such a major letdown. I wouldn't even want to talk to my mama. I would just let them do it.
Well, I think what he's trying to do, or at least this is a theory that has been postulated. What he is probably trying to do is get in touch with her before they get down there and maybe sneakily be like, hey, while you're waiting, could you destroy this, and this?
Oh, yeah. Could you take those CDs I have and just throw them right away, mama? Could you just throw those in the incinerator, that stack of CDs next to my computer.
Because, like, let's be real. Nobody in this situation would be like, yeah, let me get on the blower to my mom and tell her what's up. Huh? Don't think so. Oops, sorry.
Right. Well,
Before
this
cops
is
come
just
knock on
this
the
is
door.
just for your car, okay?
Yeah.
Are you hungry?
No, I'd throw up, man. I appreciate it.
Well, I didn't know what your medical situation was.
No,
If you
but
needed something to eat to keep your blood sugar level.
as upset as I am, I might have a panic attack. That's the only thing.
Do you take any medication or anything that you're due for?
No, man. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna leave this here. just
I don't know
in
why
case
she
you end
comes
up
in
with-
here.
Okay.
Right.
Anything for me? I think they're gonna let him
I wonder how close
whenever you're ready.
was Roush out, caught in 07 too?
Yeah, it would have been the same sting.
Okay, so yeah, I was wondering how close proximity they were. Like because part of my internal lore is like this was right before they caught Roush, so she's like coming in to check out what's going on with John, and he gave her the cold shoulder. And what's his nuts with the thin mustache that actually got to interrogate Roush was too like weak to be like, no, I don't want you in there. So she's like, here I come. But
Yeah.
again, that's just my own headcanon.
No, you're probably right. That they probably call her Iron Bra around the office.
Yeah, she's not.
So
I don't think she's a good
you just take us
interrogator.
back here.
No.
You meet her online. You talk for a while, send each other some pictures, get to know each other, get to chatting on the internet. She asks you to come up. You throw KY jelly in the car.
that's his most confrontational. You throw KY jelly in the car.
Yeah, like, but he just throws it out there. Like, yeah, it's what happened.
You tried to resist.
I mean, I wouldn't force myself on anybody, and I mean,
Well, let me ask you this.
I
Did you-
couldn't force myself.
Let me ask you this. You
Wait, did he say I couldn't force myself?
Yeah,
Like, as in, look at me, look at I'm
Right, yeah,
handicapped.
that's
I couldn't force
another-
myself.
sympathy card out of the deck.
Dude, he's pushing surprisingly 6 feet tall. He's like 5'10". I saw on the one of the what do you call it, like the mugshot photos. He's like 5'9.5" or something, which is surprising to me because he doesn't look that tall. Plus, he's like 250 pounds. Like, handicapped or not, he's got a lot of weight and a lot of meat to work with if he wanted to force himself on somebody.
Right, but I think he's probably just referring to his own agility. Like a 13-year-old is
yeah.
pretty spry. So if he were like meh, and did like the whole drooling pervert thing, they could probably juke him like no problem.
Well, I just mean like he doesn't. He's probably a little bit more imposing in person than he looks on screen, just because 6 feet
Yeah.
tall, 250 pounds. That's pretty big person.
But
even
his,
if you're moving like super slow.
right, but his walk does not instill stability. So I would feel
I suppose.
I would
I
feel
suppose.
okay. Like I would feel no threat from Dustin, no matter what age. Like if I were a toddler, I don't think I would feel like based on what I know of him.
Right.
You said you talked to another girl that was underage one time.
This story is
And
insane.
What happened on that?
Yeah, it is.
I had originally talked to an older lady, late 30s, early 40s,
Where was she at?
the Tri-Cities.
What's the Tri-Cities? Is that what the city's called? Or?
It's Kingsport, Johnson City, Bristol. I can't remember which city it was.
Okay.
I
All
mean,
in Tennessee.
yeah, they're all right
Kingsport, Bristol.
in Johnson City.
Okay.
They call them the Tri-Cities because you can hit any of one from the other within like 5 mile distance or something.
You can stand in two cities and piss in the other.
Yeah, classic.
That's what they call it, the
That's what everybody
Tri-Cities.
comes to do.
And she had
Yep.
me
You don't want to be the city where everybody pisses into,
start
though.
talking to her 14-year-old daughter.
That's true.
I didn't want to. And she gave her daughter my name and everything, and her daughter was wanting to date me, and she was wanting me to. The lady was wanting me to date her daughter.
This story is fucking bullshit.
Oh, dude, totally, dude.
Like,
I met a 40-year-old and she wanted her 14-year-old daughter to date me.
right. On even in the deepest of Souths that like could be conjured up from the wildest imagination of whoever.
Right.
Like, on what planet is some 38-year-old being like, hey, I've got a 14-year-old, you're 21 according to you in this story, And I feel like you should get with her. And like, for what? There's nothing.
Yeah, I'm going to encourage it.
I see no benefit to anybody involved, aside from Dustin, obviously.
And then the way the story wraps up just underscores the fact that it's bullshit.
Yeah, it's like anybody with any amount of critical thinking would be like, that's a lie.
I was like, no, and I tried to be a pervert to get her to leave me alone.
I tried to be a pervert to get her to leave me alone.
I believe that, except for the leave me alone part. The only part of the story I believe is that he tried to act like a pervert and succeeded. Yes. He was a master at that.
And then
something about KY and an electric razor.
And
would you tell that to the daughter or the mom or what?
I know the daughter, and I'm wanting to say the mom.
I know the daughter. I know I told the daughter I only wanted sex.
I couldn't tell you. This has been...
Double check that off the list.
See, I got a bad memory.
I'm trying to go back in my mind.
Yeah, we know what memory is, Dustin. Trying to go back in my mind. Like, we need a Wayback Machine?
20?
Yeah. And it's like...
So the mom asked you to talk to the daughter.
I'm trying to
start talking.
When we get to it, I want to get your opinion on it, but I'm gonna preload the chamber right now.
Okay.
When we get to the Japanese restaurant of it all, do you think that aspect of it being his birthday is for sympathy because birthdays are something that people often have, warm feelings towards, or is he just doing it for the fuck of it because it's an irrelevant detail to fill space?
Let's see. I'll keep that in mind.
Mom wants you to start dating her daughter?
Yeah.
Did she ask you that online to date her daughter?
I believe so, and actually I told... The mom was asking me what I was doing for my birthday. I told her I was going out to dinner at a Japanese steakhouse. What was the name? I'm trying to think. That's what I'm saying. My memory's bad. So, I mean...
Memory.
It's part of cerebral palsy, I think.
Anyway, you want my license plate number again?
Damage there. Yonder. It was some kind of Chinese or a Japanese steakhouse. I told her. She shows up looking for me.
The mom did.
With the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
That was a little strange.
Like, real quick, is this restaurant so niche that there's only one in the town he's in, and so she was easily able to find him?
That's a good question, and I don't know what she lived in the Tri-City areas. I don't know how far that is from where he was, but somebody surely a TCAP is. Fucking look under every stone. Well, he's under a rock, so
he is under a rock.
People look for every aspect of everything ever said in anything in TCAP. So I'd imagine somebody must have found the exact steakhouse that he's referring to.
Oh, for sure.
Or an excellent guess because there's only so many choices to go with. But dude,
yeah, if I had to put
the
money
daughter,
down.
she shows up with the daughter there,
yeah,
and that's a little strange. Like.
A little strange. Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, this is just another part that does not make sense because, like, let's just look aside that he would obviously have to give her the date, time, and address. So whatever, glossing over that. But like, why would they show up to the steakhouse on his birthday? And like, why would you tell the mother that? Like, this just reeks of like almost whole cloth.
Oh, dude, it's really bad.
I just can't get over it.
The man was the woman's boyfriend was a cop, and I mean, I apologized and I cleared it up without going to.
What'd you have to apologize for though? If she wanted you to date her daughter,
I was trying to cover anything up.
Great question by John. Awful answer by Dustin.
Because,
I was trying to cover anything up.
Yeah, well, like what?
There's something missing from that story. That don't make no sense.
I understand, sir. I'm trying to.
Okay, so you got online, and the mother wants you to go out with her daughter or something.
No way.
And you tried to act like a pervert so that you wouldn't, so she wouldn't want you to date her daughter.
Yeah.
Right? That's what you're telling me.
Not for nothing, but even back in the Stone Age of Yahoo chat rooms, there were ways to block people. You did not have to act like a pervert to get them to leave.
Yep, exactly.
That's a 90s note from your pal Dave.
And
What type of things did you say?
I just want sex.
That's all you said.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I didn't
that's
go
literally
into
all I
no
said.
Details like in that thing over there. I
What do you think he's referring to? The door?
I had never met
That
the
thing
girl
over
or
there, he's
anything
referring to
like
his getting busted with Hanson.
that. I mean,
Or do you think it's the first, the black cop we saw just waiting just out of frame, like with his hands on his hips, like staring at him?
That thing over there.
You racist.
Later.
So when you said you just wanted sex, what happened then?
next thing I know, she was upset and crying, and I was like,
At the restaurant?
no, I didn't say
Like
this
this
at the
story
restaurant.
is so
This was-
disjointed, and
this
there's
was
so
after-
much that
yeah,
he could
this-
have picked apart here, but he's just
Right.
blasting through it like a rocket car made of solid gold.
Okay, now let's talk about his birthday. I believe that it was his birthday, that that he had been, having this inappropriate conversation with the daughter, and probably the boyfriend was like, "Fuck that." He said he's going out for his birthday. Well, we're in the Tri-City area, and that's that's only X amount of miles from wherever Dustin is. See if you can find out where he's going to dinner.
Well, I just
And we
mean
will go there and we will confront him. And I bet that's what happened. And it's very possible because he says that they didn't find him. He didn't see them there. So but then he talked to them later on the phone. So I think there's an element of truth in the fact that they probably went there, but it was to confront him for being a piece of shit with a 14-year-old girl, probably.
Well, okay, so that's not the issue I'm raising. My thing is, do you think he brings it up to John and really hammers home the birthday thing? Because he doesn't need to tell John it was for his birthday. He could just say we went to a restaurant. But he brings it up. He drops the fact that it was his birthday like 4 times.
Right.
So-
No, I think probably Dustin doesn't go out much, and probably the fact that it was his birthday is probably that's just a main part of the story, because
Okay.
364 days out of the year he doesn't go out to restaurants,
Right, and
but
that's
on his
why-
birthday he does.
To me, in my opinion, that's why I think he was sort of leaning toward, hey, it's my birthday. So on this special day, can you believe they came and tried to ruin it? Because like people will cut people slack
that
on
could
their
be true.
birthday. I think he's using it as another weapon instead of just like, hey, it's a fun fact about me. It's my birthday. Like, who gives a shit, Dustin?
You're right.
No, I'm not
And
gonna.
he does mention it multiple times.
Yeah, and it's not like John's gonna leave the room, come back with 2 party hats and a Domino's pizza pack, and be like, "Hey, guess what, Dustin? Sorry I missed it, buddy. Dig in."
Yeah.
No.
You want a slice?
Shit ain't gonna happen.
It was after the restaurant. They didn't find me at the restaurant.
Okay.
We was back there in the back at a far end table, I think, and they didn't see us or something.
Which is incredibly weird.
I knew what the mom
Because it must have been an enormous restaurant.
Right. How big of a restaurant? Like, how far back was the table?
daughter or not, but I remember the woman had a.
So where did you meet this cop and the girl and the mom at?
I never met them. They
Oh, okay.
The mom asked me, I think it was a mom, asked me where it was, what I was doing for my birthday, because, I mean, yeah, my birthday's November 15th.
See, he's like, why tell him that?
Yeah. No, I think also, now that I'm hearing it again for the first time, that he probably was talking to the daughter, because he says, she asked me, I think it was the mom,
Yeah.
to ask me what I was doing for my birthday. No, I bet because he says a lot of shit, even in the chat log to the decoy. He's giving out personal information and asking for personal information.
Yeah.
I think he's an open book when it comes to whoever he's predating on the internet and stuff. And I bet you anything, the truth of the story is that he was being inappropriate with a 14-year-old.
Totally.
He did tell the 14-year-old, I'm going to be going to my birthday. I wish you could go with me, or whatever, might have followed. I'm going to this steakhouse. The name is such and such. And so when he says, I think the mom asked me, no, it just came up between him and the girl. And then the mom with the sheriff boyfriend or whatever, said, oh, you know where he's going to be? Let's go there or something.
Yeah, this
possibly.
100% the true story is he started talking to a kid. They were doing their shit. One of the parents found out and blew their stack. Like this whole the mom wanted me to date the daughter thing that Dustin fabricated after the fact is insane. Yeah. However, I do believe that his mom, and we'll hear about it later, his mom, when she gets on the phone to be like, yeah, my son, and I'm sure she was like, he's not right, he's slow, he's this, he's that, so cut him some slack, which I think is bullshit. Yeah, and
this is probably, now that I think about it, it's probably the story he told his mom to explain away why he was even in that pickle.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Here's an interesting tidbit from Ryan Maxwell. He says, holy crap, I just checked out Dustin's RSO page, and he says he now drives an HHR. What? Can you believe it? He drives one of the two cars designed by the same dude who both came out on this show.
Oh, thank you, Ryan.
What a weird world we live in.
Dude, that's hilarious.
TCAP lore and its fractals.
You know, people ask, right? That's a common thing online. When's your birthday? Right. And
when's your birthday?
When's your birthday? Hey, what's your security number?
Well, what I'm saying is, before this birthday thing, you told her you just wanted to have sex.
No, I told her after that.
After the birthday thing.
Yeah, because, I mean...
Which doesn't make sense.
There,
no, he's totally getting it jumbled up.
Yeah.
Okay, so you told her after.
It's such bullshit.
Then what?
Like, when he says he's not good at telling stories, he is 100% right on that score.
Yep.
And I went to...
He's not even good at answering direct questions.
And I come home that day, and Mom's second husband says...
I also love how he's
Mom's second husband.
Yeah, he's so resentful of the men his mother marries that he says, my mom's second husband and my mom's third husband.
Yes.
I think it's hilarious that John digs in the knife and goes, that's your stepdad? Later? Yeah. I think it was hilarious.
There's a cop calling here for you. I'm like,
oh, no big deal. It's just a cop called, left it on a post-it note by the phone.
And it was, I don't know, it wasn't a sheriff, it was a police officer, and he said that they are thinking about filing charges. And Mom talked.
Like, what a weird thing to say. Like, this isn't some good old boy backroom bullshit. This is like, what, 2003, 2002, something like that? Like, on what planet would a police officer call and be like, hey, this is Detective so-and-so down at your local police station. We're thinking about pressing charges on you about something.
Right.
What the fuck are you talking about, Dustin?
Yeah, and don't lie to the cop about cop things. Like,
yeah, like
he's going to know.
You're not dealing with an amateur or bullshit. This isn't even like a real cop, or not a real cop. It's not a low-level cop. He's like an investigator for the KBI.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Come on, Dustin.
Talk to him, and I don't know the whole story. That it's like if he apologizes, we'll leave you alone.
And bullshit, he doesn't know every last detail of that story.
Like the cops ever say, if you apologize.
Yeah, we won't press charges. Like, if you throw a brick through a window of a store and we talk the guy into just say sorry, you guys shake hands and both admit a little bit of the blame, we'll let you guys walk away. Like, what the fuck? Not a million years.
You never got a ticket or anything for it? Or...
I think it's funny that John says you never got a ticket or anything for it. Like, is that something you would just ticket someone for?
I know, yeah, right.
Like, hey.
Right, I thought about that too when I heard him say that. Like, I didn't know that you get a ticket for something like that.
Just imagine, if you will, really quick, John, like with a really thick ticket pad, like scribbling really fast and doing that rip, and he's like, here's your ticket for inappropriate sexual contact with a minor.
Yep.
What?
You just sign right here, and you agree to appear in court.
$475 later.
Yeah, or you can just go in and pay a fine.
Yeah, what the it's crazy. A ticket. Come on, John.
Never had to go to court?
No, it was settled over the phone. And
do you remember the girl's name?
No, I do not, sir.
Lucky.
How old was she?
I want to say 14. That's why I didn't want to talk to her in the first place. I mean,
but I did talk to the 13-year-old decoy with TCAP.
That was weird.
People younger.
Well, 14 was too old, maybe.
I mean, and I thought it was weird that the mom wanted me to talk to the daughter.
We all think that's weird, Dustin.
If you knew, why did you talk to this girl?
There's the pin tab.
Yeah, he's using it to the fullest potential.
I didn't mean for anything to escalate.
He says the same word wrong twice. I love that part.
Escalate. He also says probably says nuclear.
Yeah, but escalate, and the fact that he stops to say escalate again in the same pitch, the same tone, it felt like he was trying a different word. He just says escalate twice the exact same way.
To the way it did neither. And I mean,
here comes the chat.
You say things and you don't think. I mean, we all do.
Dude.
Here we go.
He doesn't bust out a ton of lines from the chat, but he does pull out some doozies.
Yeah,
a couple of winners.
He's
You got time to
a very efficient man, John Dudinsky.
Yeah.
Now look at that big stack of paper right there, and the fact that he's able to leaf through it really quick and pull out the gems that he does is like Chris Hansen level like background work.
Right, exactly. Which is surprising to me that he even was that. I mean, I don't know what their process is, investigation. I would have assumed that he doesn't know anything about Dustin before this point, except for some fast and nasty leafing.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Maybe they have somebody else go through it, or maybe he was well aware days in advance that this guy that's coming has been talking like this. I don't know.
It because he says it a couple of different ways. Because he gives the impression that he hasn't read the chat, but then he says I've read the whole chat.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but I would believe that John does his homework, and the fact that he probably did all this legwork only to be now saddled with Dustin. He's like, God damn it, why the fuck did I read this thing? I could have just skimmed through it. It's so easy.
Yeah, and I mean,
well, let me.
I agged a lot.
It's like fishing with dynamite.
Of it on, and she did a couple things. She did a couple things.
What did she do to egg it on?
Oh yeah, the Justin Dustin combination.
She called me today, want me to come up here.
Mm-hmm. But you were telling her you were her boyfriend, right?
Yes, you were.
Real big decision that Dustin has to make here, because he goes, "You were your boyfriend, right?" And you can see him eyeball that chat hard. He knows what's in there, and he goes, "Pooh."
Nice.
Marry her.
After she's 18.
Okay.
If we got along. Yeah, if you read that.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm gonna read it.
I'm sure
Yeah, he says, I'm going to read it, but then he says, I've read the whole chat.
Yeah.
A little mind fucking with Dustin, I
Only
think.
flip-flop.
Here's the problem we got.
Yeah.
You ready for the problem?
Are you ready for the problem, Dustin?
You don't want to go to jail for a long time.
Here comes the pen.
Right? I want to know the story on what your intent is and what you're planning on doing. Okay? And some of these things I'm going to need you to explain, because a jury and a judge are going to be looking at these things, right?
Okay.
And they're going to say to themselves, this guy here might have been willing to kill this girl.
This is a brilliant technique that he's using, because he's ratcheting up the pressure like hardcore. Jury, judge, peers. But hey, good news, you're way out. The light at the end of this tunnel is like, hey, if you tell us you weren't going to kill her, they'll probably like you a little better, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what they do a lot, right? In these interrogations, where they say, what is it they say? Like, you don't want everyone to think that you are a bad guy.
Yeah.
You're not a bad guy. You just got into something, bad, and you were, but honestly, you're not a bad guy. You want people to know you're not a bad guy. So let's talk about it right now.
Yeah, they'll always offer you. There's a few tropes in interrogations that I think are mishandled often, because they don't work on everybody, but they're used on everybody. Is the "you're not a monster," the legacy technique, where they're like, hey, think of your family, blah blah blah, or the combo of I can see there's weight on your shoulders, I see something in your eyes, or I feel something weighing heavy on your heart. Anytime they ascribe you're carrying this thing, I feel like that's in the correct circumstance. Like if you were to ask Dustin to look into your heart and be like, tell me the thing, he might feel a little guilty. But I feel like oftentimes you're looking at someone who just murdered 2 people, chopped them up over the course of 4 days, and then ate half of them, and you go, look at your heart. Don't you what? Read the room.
Yeah. Read the room, exactly. That's case in point. The I think they were Canadian. the guy, the boyfriend and girlfriend
Yeah,
who
yeah, yeah.
kidnapped the little girl. That doesn't, none of that works on that dude when he's sitting there all shaken from
Yeah.
withdrawals in that room. Like all that stuff about you don't want people to think you're a monster.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
go with
your
him.
family. None of that works. That dude just fucking the whole time. He's like, I didn't fucking do it, man. I didn't do it. It's like, okay.
Yeah, if you're interested in that, Michael Rafferty is that guy's name. And
Okay, there you
what
go.
a fucking, like, Jim Smith, the interrogator who also did Russell Peters and a bunch of other famous Canadian interrogations, is another fucking master at his craft.
Right.
And since Mike Rafferty is such a piece of shit and like just sits like under a blanket, like a little yellow blanket, cowering for 2 hours, like he gets them so frustrated, and it's so it's viscerally appealing to see this guy just be like, okay, here's the last 20 minutes in this room I have with you, and I'm going to tell you what a piece of shit you are. And it's so great for him to be like, you know what? You are a piece of shit. And when someone slams a door in any interrogation, boom, kicks it up a notch. I love it.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Woof. But like, oh, so good.
Or something. Because some of this stuff looks pretty bad. But let's establish right up front. You knew that she was 13.
I thought she was.
Hold on.
Here comes the pen.
Yeah.
I
Come on,
told you,
dude.
we're gonna be honest
Let's
with you,
be honest.
Yeah.
I've been totally honest with you and up front.
Now, here's another thing that I've been waiting for. John says, I've been totally honest with you and up front. And if you have a memory, you'll think back and be like, what has he shared? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
He has done nothing but offer him water, sit, and ask a few questions. So, but loophole, he has not told a lie yet.
That's right. So he has been honest.
Yeah, he's a man of his word, this John Dudinsky.
Yes.
I expect the
That's why I
same
love
back,
him.
okay? If you'd have thought if you wouldn't have known she was 13 or something, why were you right away worried about a cop and telling her I can't talk to you? In several chats, and telling her how to, I mean, I can read this chat right here, and it talks about her being 13.
Yeah, look at that. He just goes right to a page. He had to have had this for a while. Because what marker could you put on there to be like, oh, here's the, and know how to pull it out ahead of time? No, I believe he had some time with this, and he's probably the one who marked it up. Did I lose you?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there we go.
I'm here.
Thought we were having technical difficulties. All right, back at it. Maybe we are having technical difficulties.
Is it not playing?
It is.
Try.
There it goes.
Later on, and that is 13 days ago. And you're telling her how to get rid of stuff on the computer so nobody knows what you're talking about.
I didn't want her to get in trouble, so we can't even.
That's reminiscent of Lauren too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't want her to get in trouble with her parents.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, what kind of weak ass excuse is that? Like, I was trying to get with this kid, and so she didn't get in trouble because, like, of course, she's on the hook for a good old fashioned hiding, and it's not you who will spend the next 1 to 7 years in jail and entangled in the legal system for the rest of your life.
Well, the dude calls him out on that for sure.
Yeah.
Speak.
Okay.
And I don't.
Did you not want her to get in trouble, or were you worried about you getting in trouble, or both?
I
or
was
both.
Worried about her getting in trouble.
You weren't worried about you getting in trouble. When the first thing you say is you're making sure there's not a cop or anything because you don't want instant trouble.
I don't want instant trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on a second. Let's see here. The first thing he says, the times he mentions cop is 6 times. One of them is talking about Fastlane, an awesome cop racing TV series a couple of years ago.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and then he says, okay, I was making sure no one was a cop or anything. What's Harry do? Like her stepfather's name is Harry. What's your dad do? Okay, I was making sure no one was a cop or anything.
Harry. What, what's crazy is, like, it's a clumsy handling of a good technique where he goes, were you worried about her, you, or both? Because then you can be like, well, I care about everybody, but of course I do also care about me. So it's funny how he slips it in at the last second, but Dustin still denies it, even though he's like, come on, man, come on, let's do this.
I mean, the
Again.
part. Yeah,
Let's
I'm
be
being
honest.
honest.
I'm being honest.
sir.
Let's be honest.
The part about showing her how to clear that.
Right.
I learned that
was
from
so
Lauren.
She didn't get in trouble with her parents because she said she wasn't.
Wouldn't it be
supposed
funny
to be on the internet chat?
since
I didn't want her to get in
it won't
trouble
pause.
like that. I mean,
Oh my gosh. Ugh.
I paused.
There we go. Wouldn't it be funny since you have the theory that he is Ken Brinkman's nephew? Do you think he's also Lauren's friend or relative in some way?
Wait, what?
Because I think
Ken Brinkman's nephew.
Yeah. Don't you remember? Oh no. Yeah, because he says that in your video, the Kenneth Brinkman analysis.
Oh yeah.
He says
that's
that
right.
Dustin's going in 21-22, and Dustin comes in and says, "Now, Uncle Ken." So I'm thinking that we've got another 7 degree of Kevin Bacon, where Dustin here is somehow affiliated with Lauren, and that's how he learned how to clear the chat logs.
Oh my God, dude! Clear the chat log, and he doesn't want her to get busted by her parents. 'Cause
Exactly.
My uncle Lorne told me.
I guarantee that was Uncle Lee advice given to him from Uncle Lauren.
Oh, that's awesome, dude! I forgot about now, Uncle
Uncle
Kenneth.
Ken.
I don't want to be involved in this. Thank
if
you. You're
I
a
get in
better
trouble, I mean,
salmonographer than I am.
deal with
It's always from the
consequences
outside
I'm
looking
dealing
in, you
with
gotta
them
be.
now, and
Yeah.
I hate them, and I don't. I made some stupid.
I hate
choices,
them.
and don't
I hate them. I hate these consequences.
I wish I could take it back, and I don't want to hurt nobody, and that's the truth. And I said some stupid.
I think it's interesting that these fools always say, "I didn't want to hurt anybody," but like,
Yeah.
even in their own mind, they're not thinking about hurting anybody. Like I mean, you are assuming, based on the chat and everything and your own gross perversions, that this is going to be good for you both, delusionally. So the fact that you have to keep repeating, and all these guys like, "I would never hurt a child." Like, in their head, they're probably like imagining like slapping a child. Like, yeah, I would never do that. But they would never say aloud, like, the other stuff. That's off the table.
Well, I'm sure. What's his name? Walter Babst never was
God.
thinking I'm going to hurt a child. But when you're telling the kid to go grab a can of Coke
Right.
because it's representative of your member, how can you not imagine any pain transpiring in that interaction?
Not only that, but what type of disease or dysfunction do you think that he suffered if his member is the thickness of a can of Coke?
Dude, holy shit.
Like, he blew out all the walls.
Dude, that is awful. Awful.
The things.
Oop.
in
Oh,
there,
sorry.
When you tell her to, you want to hide the stuff that's on there, and how to archive stuff. A lot of this leads up to you wanting to protect yourself more than worrying about her. Am I pretty accurate on that?
The chat log that he's
Yeah.
holding
Yeah.
looks like the textbook of a medical student.
Okay.
Like, look, there's notations. There's a post-it note on there. Like, every page is like collated and marked. There's like separators and shit. Like, that thing looks like it would not be out of place on like someone in their 6th year of med school.
Yeah, and it does look better prepared than Lauren's chat log with Hanson. I always felt like Hanson's really sloppy with his handling of the chat log, because when you watch the extended, interaction with Hanson, he's flipping through that thing a lot, like,
Right.
in silence. Luckily, Lauren's such an idiot that he just sits there through it.
Right.
He's not like a lot of guys that go, you know what, fuck this, I'm out of here. I'm going to make my break for it. Lauren just sits there the entire time with the fucking seat vibrator going with his feet up on the recliner.
Oh, yeah, it is funny to think that the whole time his ass was vibrating. But
Exactly.
I'll give him a pass on Lauren's because it was thick as hell. And, like, you would need, like, a group of, like, literary scholars to go through and annotate that thing. I feel like Dustin's you could probably do over a couple of hours.
Yeah, probably.
But Jesus Christ, yeah, imagine having to thumb through, like, all 3 of the J.R. Tolkien classics to find a single throwaway line about your dog or whatever.
Yeah, I was thinking more of her, but yeah, it was.
I was thinking more of her, but I
me
also
too.
didn't want to go
Like
to
I
jail.
said, I don't want trouble.
I mean,
I don't want nobody to get in trouble.
there you go. I don't want anybody to get in trouble.
Not a person.
I know.
Okay.
I'm being honest with you, sir.
I've got to get to the bottom of what's going on. And when you tell me half the truth first, and then the other half of the truth later on, and I got to ask 10 more questions.
Good point.
All you're doing is make it hard on me. And like I told you, judge and jury's going to hear this. You have things in here asking her if she's had her first period yet.
I know.
You have things in here that sound as if you want to take her off somewhere, buy her from her mom.
Yeah, that was a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hilarious joke, by the way.
I said a lot of things.
Yeah.
That you're willing to take
The
her
fucking
marriage,
comedian
you want
over
her
here.
Her panties.
Wait, my eyes don't work very well. Is that actually Don Rickles?
Yeah.
Hmm.
He's the king of the one-liners.
No wonder this interrogation has been so funny.
I know that one was. I don't know.
Her social security number,
Like I said.
so that you can find her.
Which is wild. Like the fact that, number one, a 14 or 13-year-old would know their social security number, number one.
Right.
But, like, that is such a, like, why even risk it? Like, if you ask a 13-year-old what that is and they get curious and they go and ask their parent, they're obviously going to ask, what the fuck do you want your social security number for?
Right. Okay. Now let's get into that because I have that pulled up here. And do you have an ID card? Okay, this is Dustin. Do you have an ID card? Hissy face. What's that?
What's
A
that?
card with you. It has your name, social security number,
What the
address, and such. Oh, nope. Okay.
What would have all
can
of
I,
those?
Can I have your social security number? This is what makes him one of the fucking creepiest of the creeps. They're all creeps, but dude, nobody goes so hard on trying to get the decoy's social security number.
And that was done with no finesse. That was like a 3-question lead up where it's like, hey, do you have an ID? And then he lists something that would never exist. Like what would have a picture, your name, address, and social security number on it? Unless you're in the military. And I don't think she was probably serving.
Right. Well, and she's saying, I don't know what that is. And he says,
seriously?
He says, okay, well, find your birth certificate.
What?
Oh, I don't know where that is. Well, ask her if you can see your birth certificate, lol.
Like,
oh, I can try. It's in the form like 123-45-6789. Your social security number. And then the bottom line is he says, that way, if I lose you on your 18th birthday, I can pay $15 to track you down, tone face.
Creepy. Like, okay, so here's the thing. On a lot of like true crime related media, there are always things you pick up so you don't get caught. You're like, if you're going to plan your perfect crime or do play that thought experiment, there are things you don't do. You don't write down your crime. You don't do it with other people. There's a bunch of rules. This is not even on any rule anywhere. Like this is so like you're basically asking to get caught. You're asking a 13-year-old to talk to their parent to ask them for something that no 13-year-old would ever ask for. And then hope against hope that the parent asks no follow-up questions, but simply supplies the document and then shoos them away. Like if the day before I robbed a bank, I called 911 to be like, hey, my name's Dave. And if you can believe this, here's my plan. What?
Dude, and just before that, he's talking about, did you mail what you was supposed to send me? Did you put him in a Ziploc? I think Dudinsky goes into it, so I won't keep going on that.
So gross.
If something happened if we lost contact between now and when she was 18.
Like in case the relationship went sour and I wanted to stalk her in the future.
Yeah, which is so funny. Like, if you lost contact and she didn't want to have contact, well, it's too late now. You already gave your social security number, so now I can track you down.
Right.
It's like that is creepy to the nth degree, dude. It's like maybe I want to lose contact. Like
all the stuff he tries to explain away is completely unexplainable. He's like, hey, I just wanted if they found you got stopped at a random spot and they open up your trunk because you're at a checkpoint and they find a murder bag full of somebody else's blood all over the tools you specifically put in the murder bag.
Right.
And then you try to offer an explanation. It's like, it's too late. You can't save face anymore. When they find the hammer covered in hair and blood and brain matter in your trunk, or God forbid in your hand, and you go, hey, what's that? There's no way you can tap dance your way out of that situation, even if you were the best talker in the world.
That's right. Should have ditched that bag.
I was just to see if she was real.
All right.
And that's being honest.
But here's the thing. There is some part of every criminal feels like they can be a Casey Anthony. Like, they feel like, because Casey Anthony was so zany and outside the box, and like, she's like the modern day O.J. Simpson, where something obviously happened, allegedly, where they were at fault and got off scot-free.
Right.
So I feel like everybody feels like, if I get caught, I'll just.
Casey it.
Yeah,
I'll Casey it.
Casey Anthony it, I'll O.J. Simpson it, like, or they'll pull the mental disease or defect card, which is not going to work. So, whatever. I'm not giving advice, but pull your head out of your ass. God damn it.
On the 13th, you knew she was a 13-year-old girl, correct? By what I just read you, and you just told me that, right?
I'm guessing so. I'm bad with dates.
I love this. I'm bad with dates. He looks at his Casio G-Shock to be like, what's the date today? I'm bad with dates. Like, knowing
it could have been the 14th that I learned she was 13 years old. It could have been the 13th. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm bad with dates.
But that's the thing. He latches onto the only normal thing in that sentence. It's like, you knew you were coming after a 13-year-old for sex on the 13th. And he goes, oh, yeah, the date? I don't know. That's the part he takes issue with. The rest,
Okay. That was 7 days ago.
7 days ago. I'm bad with dates.
Supposedly is what you're thinking, or whatever you're saying. I can't
Whatever.
She was.
You're saying I can't wait to get your cherry.
Yeah.
Which,
here comes the
correct me
best
if I'm
part.
wrong, because I'm an old man. I might have been out of the system for a while, but that means that you're going
take her virginity.
You're going to take her virginity.
He fills in the question for John. Like, this is almost as good and maybe better than Walter Babb saying, I'm under arrest, or I'm a sick son of a bitch, or this,
getting my ass kicked.
Yeah, this is a birdie. Like, if saying the absolute wrong thing was a golf shot, this is a fucking hole in one.
Totally.
But
now, hold on a second. And you came up here.
I didn't have
11 o'clock at night to meet
because I couldn't get here any faster.
Okay.
I'd have been here during the day.
Would you? You'd been here during the day.
Again, another missed opportunity where he has to go, would you? Because, like, Dustin won't shut the fuck up. John is blown away by the additional whipped cream on top of the whipped cream that already has whipped cream on it and a cherry.
I would have been here much faster if I could have been.
If I had a Camaro, sir, I would have been here in 45 minutes flat, but I got a PT Cruiser and it took me 2 hours and 30 minutes. I tried, sir. I tried to get her faster.
And I'm being honest.
I believe that.
You've sent her pornography over the internet. Is that
one
correct?
photo.
And what's that a photo of?
Because she said she'd never seen a penis before.
I like how he whispers it like they're now in the back of a church and like the sermon's going on up front. He's like, hey, you won't believe this. She never seen a penis before. Like, are you guys buddies? That's so fucking weird.
And why did you send it to her?
Good question.
That I don't know. Because she said she never seen one.
She's never seen one. Of course.
I mean, if somebody asked me a question out of curiosity or how do I do something, I'm stupid enough to tell. You know.
That doesn't make sense, Dustin.
I try to help people.
No, horrible.
Share knowledge if I have it.
Share knowledge, dude. I love that.
I'm
just sharing knowledge. You know, I mean, pretty much I'm just here. I'm kind of a teacher. I'm kind of a guru.
Imagine if you will, Big Salmon, like I somehow got a hold of your cell phone number and I just started like dropping you dick pics that were just labeled like #truthbomb. I was like, hey, sharing the truth, brother. Here's a peen. And you got to go like, every time I send you one on a train or whatever. Like, what?
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah. Hashtag hard facts. And you're on a train on your way to work. What the fuck? Just
Nice,
sharing
bro.
knowledge over here.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it. Because otherwise I would just be in the dark.
Mm-hmm. The Dustin McPhetridge knowledge sharing plan.
That's right.
Remember, we're being honest with
I
each
know.
other.
Just remember, we're being honest.
Let's be honest, okay? If somebody asks you how to build
keep
a
saying
birdhouse, you might send them a diagram, okay?
Yeah.
A girl that age,
I would love that in a slapstick comedy version of this. Like if this interview was done by the whitest kids you know, like the camera would do a hard cut to Dustin, like holding blueprint architectural plans of like a hard rod, and he'd be like,
Nice.
asks you or says she never seen a penis, and I don't recall her asking you. I've read the entire string of chat.
Bingo.
She never asked you to send her what a picture of penis would look like, right?
I asked her if she wanted to see it, and she said yeah.
Hold on. But
I'm on it. Penis.
she's asking you or telling you she's not seen a penis or nothing, right?
Correct.
correct.
Were you trying
At
to get
no
her
point is
excited
penis
about
mentioned in the
sex?
chat.
So, what does he say? Like in place.
Dick is mentioned 8 times, but penis is not mentioned anywhere.
Okay, so he must say. I mean, but yeah, that's. I'm like, who's gonna? If you're doing sexy chat, you're not gonna use penis. Like if you're talking to your doctor, you use penis. If you're talking to a sexual perspective,
Yeah.
you're not gonna say penis. Like when I was sweet talking the wife, I never said penis when things got spicy. You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
No, sir.
How many of these chats do I have to read out loud for you to say the truth of what you were doing?
Another beautiful comedy moment. He would reach into like a front pocket, pull out the Homer Simpson half glasses, and just go to town for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Just like lean back in his chair, whip it like a newspaper a couple of times.
Yep.
Yeah, here we come to the grossest part. You are right here.
You're asking her to touch herself. You're asking her if you show up, will she touch you? If that's not trying to get somebody excited about sex, what's it trying to do?
It's a good question.
You're not sending a birdhouse.
There was a few of them.
There was a few of them. What does
Did
that
you send
mean?
that pornography to introduce her to sex?
No, sir.
Why did you send it then?
Because she said she never seen one, and I mean,
Now, look at John's
being
posture here. He is getting, like, leaning in is a sign of aggression and dominance, and he has got it here. He is leaning in. He's got the elbow extended in, like, that dad pose.
Yep.
And his tone is, like, abrupt, but it's not harsh.
Right. Right.
It's-
He's trying to steer the. He was kicking back for long enough. It's time to let's get this wrapped up. I need you to say a few additional things to incriminate yourself.
He's like in the stern dad mode where he's not necessarily being like, tell me you motherfucker, or like, I'm so disappointed. He's just like, come on, man. Yeah, you know what you got to do here. I love his energy in this segment.
being honest.
Okay. Why does a girl that age have to see one?
Plus his questions are fucking on point.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't have no answer for that one.
It's a rough question not to have an answer
There
for
is
in this
no-
Was it
situation.
to educate her about sex?
Totally.
Subconsciously, I guess so, because I mean,
Subconsciously.
I didn't think that when I seen it neither, and I mean, I was just
She was your
So-
she was your girlfriend on the internet, and I can appreciate that. A girlfriend.
See, look, as soon as he gets that admission back into relaxing mode so we can crank up the pressure for the next big nail in the coffin. He is a fucking master.
You're thinking.
know, and I mean,
You're thinking you're gonna have a.
Because you can see he's backing off on his engagement too. He's like, hey, he's you're her boyfriend. She's your girlfriend. I see a relationship there. Let's foster that.
Right,
this is normal, quote unquote.
Girlfriend for life, correct?
yeah, because I
Girlfriend
get
for
along,
life.
man. I mean,
Understood.
a lot of people look down upon me for my disability, and it hurts, and
Hey,
I've had mental breakdowns.
you're looking at a chubby bald guy, buddy. It ain't
Well, you ain't chubby.
It ain't.
I'm chubby.
It ain't easy.
I love that part where he breaks.
Yeah. Well, you ain't chubby. I'm chubby.
When he's trying to keep a straight face and like identify with him on this level. And it is fucking hilarious. Like in any other context, that would be comedy gold.
I know it ain't
And here
easy.
it is too.
So I mean,
Okay. I know it ain't easy, man. But you met her. She was your girlfriend. You were gonna come up here. You were gonna meet her. You're gonna watch some movies, right?
yeah, that's what
What movies were you gonna watch?
I don't know.
Okay.
I figured the way she described her parents,
If she was willing, based on everything you said, were you gonna have sex with her?
You want the honest truth?
That's what I said.
There you go. Just like you
I
said.
was going to meet her, and we may not have.
So here's the thing. If you're going to set up that expectation, right, and somebody asks you a tough question like that, you give them a solid 5 count of silence, and only to follow that silence with, do you want the honest truth? You know for a fact it's going to be what he just did. This waffling, non-committal bullshit where he goes, you want the honest truth? Like the nitty gritty? I may have, I may not have, I like this, like that.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
Honest truth? Hard maybe.
If we got along, if not.
It's one of those
Why did you bring the
50-50
KY
things.
gel?
One of those 50-50
It was to have
things.
sex, correct? With the virgin.
If it led up to that, because, I mean, like I said, if it led up to that, if I didn't plan on having sex, I didn't come up here planning on not having sex, having it either way. Like I said, I picked it up.
See, he says he picked it up, referring to either the razor or the KY out of nowhere. Like they're not talking about that right now. But he's like, yeah, I picked it up.
But it's in his mind, exactly.
It's so strange. Like he's trying so hard to be like everything is normal, but there are just some things you cannot explain away.
I grabbed a few things real quick.
You grabbed, okay. If I'm going out on a first date, my first thought isn't throw some KY jelly in the truck.
Lethal.
If I know that this girl is a sure thing.
A sure thing? I love
jelly
that.
in the truck.
She's good to go.
I mean,
I love that he like gets sort of on the same level, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna throw some KY jelly in the truck if it's a sure thing. A little bit of creative license that I thought was fucking brilliant, because like in this moment I feel it's genuine enough that if John did think it was a sure thing, he would throw the KY in the truck.
That's right.
Because he's considerate. And at his age, his age demographic, they might be a little drier. He's a very considerate man.
He's a considerate lover. You're right.
Did you throw the KY jelly in the truck because you're pretty sure you're going to have sex if somebody wants you to come that far to see them?
No, sir.
I just like driving around with bottles of KY jelly in the passenger seat for hours at a time. It's a normal
That's right.
thing.
And now he's gotten away from just being honest. Like he told him straight up, no, sir.
We just do it in the Tri-Cities. Take our KY for a ride.
I mean,
you didn't take it that she wanted to have sex from. Do I have
Here
to
we
read
go.
chats?
No, sir.
Oh, dude, it's going to get grody.
You pretty much knew that you were coming up here for sex, correct?
No, sir.
No, sir. Here we go.
Here you go, dude.
Where you're coming
Are you going to make me read the chats again?
No, sir.
No, sir, but yes,
I
sir.
understand what we said. And
okay.
I asked her if it was. And
where do you want my sperm?
This.
Oh, dude, it's so gross.
So gross. So, spoiler alert, you're about to hear some gross shit. But the fact that he just steamrolls Dustin like this is so beautiful. I needed to call special attention to it and also give the warning of like it's about to get gross for the people who don't know.
Sperm first.
I don't know.
Mouth, pussy, or ass?
I mean, that wasn't in reference of meeting
Oh,
today.
dude.
Now-
Mouth, pussy, or ass? Where do you want my sperm first?
Like, why clinical on that? Number one. But number two, the way he softens that blow to John here, because there's no way sidestepping that that 3-card Monty, if you will, situation. The way he softens it is like, hey, yeah, I said that, but it wasn't about tonight. I told a 13-year-old that potentially later I would use one of those receptacles, but not tonight, sir, my good sir. And he tips his hat.
He said, let me, I got this part in the chat.
Do it.
Pull up. Immediately beforehand, also, he's confirming the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. He says, let's see, come get in my bed. Come get in my bed. I wish. I love you so much. Well, I love you too. You're awesome, and I'm glad you're my boyfriend. Well, I'm glad you're my girlfriend.
Uh,
I can't wait to make love to you. Me either. It'll be so cool. I can't wait to come in you. Me either. It'll be cool. Where do you want my sperm first? I don't know.
I don't
Mouth,
know.
pussy, or ass. What you want to do first? Well, it's up to you. Probably normal stuff. You gonna swallow my cum? So he sandwiches sperm between. That sounds gross.
Right.
Between using the term cum,
Between two
but he
Ritz
does
crackers.
slip into a sperm like a clinical, like you said, for some reason.
It's strange because like I don't get why these guys immediately, like, I get why they're into virgins because like that's a big cultural thing. I don't get why they're into virgins, but I get why the cultural references, because like everybody's like, oh boy, fresh ground. Everybody likes to plant their flag where no one has before. But wanting your cake and eating it too in this situation seems like insane to me, because you want someone with zero experience who's open to literally anything.
Everything, yeah, everything.
How, like, that's the thing. Like, the levels of delusional are insane here, because especially the ones who talk them into the relationship aspect, like Lorne does, where like they'd be appearing in public, interacting and stuff. And like, on what planet are you seeing this as possible?
Totally, dude.
It is
totally.
But that's the thing. When you're in this echo chamber of the internet and you have your own thoughts and of like a decoy that's willing to go along with your fucking string of narrative, anything's possible, I guess.
Yep.
All I want to do, okay,
is baby make love to you.
Is get on with this interview, but we got to get over this hurdle.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
We got to get to the truth.
I'm being honest.
Why you threw the KY
Boom.
jelly in there? Did you come up here expecting to have sex with this girl because of her emails back to you? And
No,
you saying you want to have sex, and she's like, yeah, sounds cool.
I love how he affects the decoy a little bit right there.
Yeah.
Two of the most beautiful moments, when he says the yaw and when he says he's throwing KY in the truck.
No, sir. I mean, it was one of those 50-50 things. She wanted
50-50.
If we could have had sex, we could not have had sex. And I mean...
I would like to envision, like, before he even got out of the PT Cruiser to go knock on the door, like, he like pulls in, kills the engine, shuts the lights off, and he takes a deep breath, and he's like, he's got both his hands on the wheel. You see him fidgeting around in a pocket, and then he, like, flips a quarter and slaps it on his hand, and he goes, yes, heads!
It was literally a 50-50 sort of thing.
Yeah, he drove the 2.5 hours knowing he was going to flip a coin, and yeah, he struck it good.
You would have had sex if you hit it off with her.
If we got along and I thought it was a meaningful relationship, honestly...
I would also love an interrogator to bark up this specific tree, in that, like, and they kind of do with Jim and about Cheyenne, but like, what are you going to connect with on someone 20 years your junior?
Mm-hmm.
Even the most optimistic, like, what are you going to talk about?
Yeah.
Unless you're really into cartoons or they're really into, like, you know, RC powerboats or whatever the fuck you're into as an old man. What? Like, come on.
Well, and her own screen name, we know what she's into, and they talk about it at the beginning. She's into ghosts. Her screen name is Ghosts Are Reals. And when he asks her what she likes to do, she likes to watch ghost shows. She likes to watch Ghost Hunters. I don't know. She lists like 3 of them. It's like, that's it. That's what you have to connect with her on. Hopefully you're into ghosts. But
I got ghosts. Hit me up. Hey, but that's more than what we get in a lot of them, because a lot of these dudes are, you know, what they call in the TCAP community fast movers. They don't even bother looking at the one-dimensional aspect of the character they're trying to woo.
Right. Lorne certainly didn't.
Yeah, they just want to lock in that they're not going to need to bring any rubbers.
Right.
No
exactly.
Rubber.
Oh.
Yeah. But if we didn't get along, no.
Again, like, if you didn't get along, like if she was like, hey, do you like watching Teen Titans? And you were like, what? I don't know what that is. Like, would that start with the relationship?
No sex then.
Yeah. Like, oh, you like pineapple on your pizza? How dare you? You flip the coffee table and hobble your way out the door? I don't think so.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I brought KY all the way here for this? Fuck this.
It's half dry by now. I've been driving
It's got
so
an
long.
alcohol base, you know.
Oh God.
Because I'm not one of these people that.
Well, you asked her to be naked for you to get here.
Similarity to Jeff Stacy.
In one of your chats,
Spiderweb is everywhere.
You talked about meeting the first time. You said something about being naked when you get there in your panties or something like that. Forget exactly how you worded it.
I'm trying to think
See
of
if I
that
can
one
find it.
myself, sir. And I'm being honest.
I want to get you.
He is
drunk.
being honest.
Later on.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great.
This is a 12-year-old girl. Do you know the drinking age in Kentucky?
18.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't
It's
say.
21.
Oh, it.
21.
What is this? Okay, and let's Dustin go. Yeah, why would I? It's actually 21. And I go, oh, like what? That's a question I have now, a legitimate question. Does anyone in the typing square know if there's a state in the union that is actually 18? I thought it was Canada was 18. Everywhere in the U.S. is 21.
I believe it's all 21. I remember that in San Diego, the strip clubs are all 21, except for one was 18. It was right by the military base, but they didn't serve alcohol. I don't know why I remember that. But
when I was in junior high, I heard tell of a place that was a juice bar where they sold non-alcoholic, like blended juices, and you could be 18 to go in and see the strippers. Sadly, it did not. That business model did not sustain itself until I was old enough to care, and I never got old enough because strip clubs are pretty boring.
I would just look. I looked up where strip clubs are terribly boring, dude. I mean, I don't know. I never got the deal, but that's all right. Not judging. I looked up panties in the chat log, and it's just funny that as I scroll through them, it's about not wearing panties. It's like, here's a line: "Have you stopped wearing panties yet?" Here's another line: "I want you to wear jeans tomorrow and no panties." Let's see. Oh, that was her next one. Was it's gross to not wear panties, but he comes back later and says, "Have you stopped wearing panties yet?"
Like you're going
again,
out of them like a diaper?
I want you to wear jeans tomorrow and no panties. Like, what the fuck?
I don't.
Dude?
Okay, yeah. Like there are some things I don't understand that are relatively popular, I guess you could say. Like the whole panties thing, like where I get certain instances of it, like, right, if they're wearing a sundress or something and there's the danger there and they say don't wear panties, but just like the carte blanche, don't wear panties, whether rain, shine, jeans or dress, like leggings or whatever, like,
right.
What does that do for you, the third party? I don't get it.
That's the weird niche fetish that he's found himself in, I guess.
But whatever the kink is, I guess it's valid, but that's just a weird one to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's 21, but I wouldn't.
Remember what I told you before about a judge and jury's going to hear this?
Yeah.
This sounds to me like you wanted to hurt somebody. Would you be mad if I got you drunk and had sex with you however I wanted and the next day you were in pain?
Oh, dude, that's so fucking incriminating,
really hard.
Dustin.
Right.
Now, when you were coming up here,
I forgot I even had that conversation.
Okay. That's what you want to do. That's what you're telling her you want to do.
That was not.
If you
that
have
was
a
not
meaningful
what.
relationship, were you wanting to have a meaningful relationship and make love to this girl, or were you wanting to just do her real hard and treat her bad and beat on her? Or
I was wanting to have a real relationship with her. Yeah. That was meant for.
Look at Dudinsky's got his pen standing on end there, ready to be tapped.
Yeah,
I love
a
that.
master. And here we see another masterful play of like, hey, here are two horrifying scenarios, each in their own different way. But like nobody in their right mind would be like, oh, I'm interpreting what you're saying as rough sex to be murder. But since like John's so checked out, he knows it's going to work. Dustin is so stupid. He's like, well, yeah, now I'm reading this. Like, it's obviously not kinky sex. It's like, you obviously wanted to murder her. And of course he's going to be like, no, I loved her. I wanted to have tender sex with this person.
Exactly. Oh, but you did want to have sex. Busted.
Much later on, and I don't even know why I even come up with that one and said that.
Why is not up for debate.
But if things would have worked out, you'd have had sex with her tonight.
Pen tap.
If we got along and stuff, and I mean, I don't know.
All right.
I mean, I've met.
That might be a shirt, like the Dudinsky double tap, and it's just a pen. Pow, pow.
Yeah, dude.
Offline before, and I've met people.
You spend a lot of time on the computer?
Yeah, because I mean, I sit there and I play games on the computer and on the Xbox 360, and I mean, I don't have much else to do because, I mean, I've tried to look for a real job.
Tried and failed.
And it's impossible to find a job.
I don't think he's ever looked for a real job.
Impossible.
I know.
But
I think Malmo's got him covered.
So
Computer's a good thing. You know, if used correctly, a computer's a good place to meet friends.
Yeah, and I mean, other than this situation, that other one I told you about, I've never done anything like that.
Aside from the 2 instances where I actively hunted children, I've never done anything like that. Listen,
don't get me wrong. Yeah, don't misunderstand me.
You know that old saying, 2 and done? That's what I do.
Yeah. 2 and done, it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
What all chat rooms do you visit?
The Tennessee ones I listed earlier, like 1, 2, 5,
7,
7, 9. How did he get into a Kentucky chat room then? Was the decoy in the Tennessee one, like going outside their reach?
Oh, maybe, huh?
Something to look up.
I think.
Temple of TCAP.
They look on the internet. Is it Tennessee
That's
1
right.
or something?
Yeah. You just sign in, and then a wrestling chat room.
Wrestling
chat room. Have you ever met anybody in any other chat rooms?
Okay, can we talk for a minute real quick? Have you seen that footage or the picture of him recently at the wrestling match?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, I'll show you in Discord or something. It's so great, dude. He looks so giddy to just be like, he's right next to where they walk out too. He's like right, on the in the bleachers or whatever, right where they walk out, and he's just got such a childlike glee in his face. It's so funny, dude.
When there are you can say wrestling 2 types of ways. If you're from the South, you say wrestling, or you say wrestling if you're up here. Every time I hear somebody say wrestling, I don't think of the WWE or all that thing. I think of like 4 2x4s and like really rough hempen rope and like a mud pit that 2 dudes in like 1 strap overalls like bib overalls are like wrestling while pigs lay about in the sun soaking up the atmosphere.
Okay.
Like you say wrestling, I go John Cena, The Edge, Rock, Chris Benoit, all this other stuff. Then you go wrestling, and I think of like 2 dudes with like big bushy beards and like the snaggletooth, and like somewhere on one of the like instead of a spit jug, it's like one of those XXX moonshine jugs.
Oh, corn squeezins.
Mm-hmm. Wrestling.
Yeah. Moonshine.
Moonshine.
Any of them underage?
No, sir.
What's their screen names? Do you remember any of them?
I can try. XX, Perfect Drug, XX, I think.
Where did you meet these people at? Which chat rooms? The same ones?
That screen name reminds me of like Counter-Strike.
So it's hard to say. And she was talking to me about she had moved back to Tennessee and she would like to see me again, and I was like, okay. I talked to her some, and then she disappeared again.
The one not this one, the one you had sex with.
I would love, because he talks about the XX Perfect Drug XX girl. I don't want to invade her privacy, but I would love to get like the dimensions of her body or something like that. I want some hard evidence, if this woman exists, that she exists, because like the fact that he's like, yeah, we hooked up once and then she disappeared on the internet. This also feels only half legitimate to me. So,
well, I'll tell you what. I just found XX Perfect Drug.
What?
But she lives in Hesperia, California.
Huh.
And she's on Poshmark. It's on Poshmark.com. It says, XX Perfect Drug XX and 7 others like this purse or whatever. So I clicked on her name, and here she is, dude. And she's wearing a black cowboy hat. It's kind of a who is the Australian dude? The crocodile hunter guy.
Oh, Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan?
Paul Hogan, that's who it was, not that crocodile. Yeah, exactly, Paul Hogan. She's wearing a Paul Hogan hat, and she looks like someone who probably would have talked to Dustin
Is this
on chat.
time period correct?
I don't know. The image of her
Dang.
looks correct. I'm going to tell you what, anybody wants to look this woman up, but I'm going to copy the image and I'll send it to you later in Discord. Sorry.
All right. At least
I just wanted you to know I looked up XS perfect drug XX and I think we may have found her. Which is surprising.
Whoa. So, yeah, So, yeah, weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she was, I'd say 21.
21. Nobody underage.
No, sir.
What's your cell phone number?
String of expletives.
Beep. Yeah, it would have been funnier if they put the beep in.
Motherfucking cocksucker.
It's weird what the rules are, because some of them will drop the audio completely. Some will put the beep in. Some are just like, hey, whatever. Whoops, we forgot to censor it.
This is kind of funny, and it relates that they the information that they hide. Well, if all I did was look up Dustin McPhetridge earlier, and one of the top things that comes back is this collection of documents from docketbird.com. And there's Dustin's friggin' social security number for all to see.
What the hell?
Yeah,
Wow.
Dustin wanted so bad to get her social security number, but it's right here for all of us to see if we want to, look it up. And it's so funny that it's like, oh, sorry. Even he says in the chat, please don't ever give that out to anybody because they could, ruin my life. And it's like, well, all you have to do is search Dustin, and there you go. You have it. So I thought that was funny.
Maybe the principle is this: like, after a certain point of infamy, like, who cares if someone gets a hold of your social security number? Like, who's going to benefit, number one, and how much worse could you make his life that isn't eventually going to get untangled anyway?
That's the main thing right there. How much worse could it get? I mean, shit.
Right. Like, oh no, he's like, a registered sex offender and credit card fraud. Like, oh, the scandal of it all. Like, yeah, I mean, come on, let's be real.
I had anything with them. How old they are?
Where do you live at right now?
At home with my mama.
At home with my mama and her third husband. Boo! I love the amount of detail that they're about to go into over the house that he lives in too, because I can almost picture the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, have you ever seen his house?
No.
Okay, yeah, it's exactly as it describes it with the vinyl siding and the carport and whatnot.
The one thing I change about it in my mind, I know he says it's a gravel drive, but in my head I picture like a drive of crushed oyster shells.
Oh,
I
nice.
feel like that's a little classier, and I like to upgrade Dustin's digs a little bit.
Break the stupid news to her first.
Okay, what
He's so desperate to call his mom.
Yeah.
I mean,
He's worried they're gonna get there before he talks to her, man.
Oh, totally. Yeah, he wants her to destroy evidence or something. He needs to get her to do something.
Is that your computer? Is that her computer? Or?
She bought it, but I use it.
Where's it at?
I feel like if you were to ask Dustin about anything, that would be his answer. Like, anything in the house, she bought it, but he uses it.
He uses it.
Like, obviously, like, no shit.
In the house.
And I guess it's my living area.
I don't understand why he's confused about that. Like, he's never referred to the other room he goes
two
to.
bedrooms. One's
Right.
got my bed in it, and then the other one's computer desk and
that's your area?
yeah, computer desk.
Does she
TV.
use the computer?
She has a few times. She's used it a few. She had her own and it tore up.
There might be information here, but I'm going to speculate wildly that they're probably hoarders. Because, like, why not consolidate the computer? Like, unless the mom is like, no, it needs to be accessible for all of us. But then he just slobs out in both areas anyway. Like, I picture pretty severe hoarding in this situation, right? I mean, how can you not?
Up. She uses that occasionally and stuff.
So it's you and your mom just live together?
Her third husband.
He lives there
Her
too.
third husband.
Does he use your computer?
Yep.
He's used it a couple times to look at X-rays, and he's used hers a couple times. But
X-rays.
Rated X-rays?
he's got a
Oh,
bad
X-ray.
back and neck,
Triple X-rays.
and he's not very computer.
I like how John, he's like, he knows he has to like do something to keep the conversation going, but he's not willing to like show any emotion or even look up from the paper. So he just goes, X-rays. And his little buddy, I fucking love that. And he goes, oh yeah, keep Dustin invested.
What kind of computer is it?
X-rays.
Just one I custom ordered.
Oh, you custom ordered it?
Yeah,
Meh.
I ordered the parts and I had a friend to help me build it.
Oh, really?
I can do parts of it, but I can't do a few things with it because
So
of
you're
my
pretty
hand.
computer savvy, though.
Somewhat depends on the subject.
Let me detour here real quick. Regarding his, savviness with a computer, it really comes back to shoot him in the foot, because
Right.
in these documents here, from Docket Bird, it's got like letters that he's written to the court,
Mhm.
asking like, for internet access. I need internet access to do work. There's a photocopy here of his A+ certification. There's a letter from the owner of a business saying, we are interested in hiring Dustin. We're aware of his limitations and stuff,
Huh.
but we need him to have an internet-enabled computer to do so. Dustin writes this letter. Whoever Mr. Welch is, probably his probation officer or something.
Mhm.
He starts out by saying that I'm spending more money because I can't order. Like, if I could order my stuff from Walmart online on the app.
Oh
I
yeah.
would. Yeah, he says, like, here, he says, you save $5 and you don't have to deal with the boxes, and I wouldn't have to deal with minors. Please let me sign up and be able to use Walmart pickup.
Yeah.
He gives another example here. My Epson ink in store is $30. Order it on the app and sit in the parking lot for 30 minutes, and an employee will bring it to your car for $25.
Yeah, it's such a weak sauce attempt to be like, no, I need access to the internet for Walmart. Like, I swear, like, and Dustin's a trustworthy guy. He says, I swear I will not use my newfound internet connection to do the thing I only did twice. And I was being honest about that.
In another letter directly to the judge, he says, I even offered to use monitoring software and pay for it out of my own pocket. Probation refuses this also. That's why I'm asking Your Honor to reduce my probation stipulations or release me from probation so I can be a productive member of society, pay taxes, and not be a burden on the taxpayers. Later on down the line, and here's where it shoots him in the foot. It says, he says, no, you can't have the internet until you take polygraphs, and monitoring software can't be trusted because I know too much about computers.
What the fuck?
So
Like,
he fucked himself. So, because he's saying, well, I'll just pay for monitoring software. But then they turned around and said, nah, you're a little too savvy with computers. You could probably fake it. So we're not going to let that be an option. So I just thought it was funny that, even Dudinsky's saying here, like, oh, so you're pretty computer savvy. It's like, well, yeah, I can know some things. It's like, oh, you want to use monitoring software? Well, you could probably hack that.
That's
so
the thing
that.
about old Dusty Boys. Like, he doesn't even know, like, what, like, here. Okay, here's the thing. Everything you say, that he says it. Everybody says it in interrogation. Everything you say can be used against you, whether you're talking yourself up or talking yourself into a grave. They will use everything against you. Right. You can never tell them something and they go, hey, good news. We got one in the defense column out of an interrogation. Never, ever. Nobody walks out of it. Like, imagine a cop like patting an interrogation subject on the back, being like, you know what? I thought we were going to have to arrest you right up until you were able to explain that murder away.
Yep.
No.
Yep. Good thing you kept talking.
Yeah, good thing. Let me ask you a quick question. Can you see how much time we have left on this? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, 46 minutes in, but so we're halfway through, but I mean, there's a good 30 minutes of silence.
Right. So I'm wondering, because we're going through this at a snail's pace. Not that it isn't fun, but I'm worried it'll be a full 6-hour stream if I keep you on. So I'm going to throw this up your flagpole. Do you feel like we should cut it here and have a part 2 teased?
I would say no. I would say no, because once we get through this, there's really not much of substance that comes out of this, because he's going to take off and leave Dustin for a while. Dustin mutters once to himself, and that's all we hear from Dustin, except for when Dudinsky comes back in.
I'm just trying to remember the timeline, because we do spend a protracted amount of time talking about the house, the gun, the dog. I feel like there's a lot of hits that are worthless.
Let's do two parts then. Yeah, let's do it. I mean, I'll make the time for you, brother.
All right. And we don't have to necessarily do it at a turnaround breakneck speed, but I feel like we have a lot, because he's got to talk about the third husband. We got to talk. There's a lot going on here, and I feel like if we just blast through it, it'll do it a disservice.
I'm with you. I see what you mean. You're right. And I'm picturing now he's got to talk about the pit bull and the
and the younger relative that I feel like we could dive into. So let's call it here. We've been going for a solid 2.5 hours of an hour and a half interrogation.
You got it, brother.
So let's do this. Start wrapping it up. Let's start plugging some stuff. Now, if you are interested in more Dustin McPhetridge lore, Baked Salmon here has what did you call it? The DMAC revocation
hearing, yeah.
In 5 parts that is fully voice acted.
Yep. We had a lot of people from the community jump in and assist with that. It was a good time had by all.
Yeah, I watched it from stem to stern. I really enjoyed it. The voice actors, everything, it just sort of, I love all the authentic reading too, because it captures all of the vocal tics and everything, because it's the court document and they have to be completely authentic, and I love that aspect of it.
Oh yeah, and that was fun to do, because as you're reading it, there's all the stammering is in the actual text, so it sounds almost like we don't know what we're going to say next, but we're reading it exactly like it is in the court document. And you're right. Yeah,
because that's how it is. Like now, watching tons of interrogation and courtroom footage, it is a lot of meandering and a lot of actually, let me ask you this. And to see that represented authentically on your channel is a pretty cool experience. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, bitchin'. I appreciate you saying that. It was, we had to make that decision, to read it authentically. And regardless of whether it sounded like we were, not sure what we were going to say next, it's exactly how it is in the document. So, yeah, cool. I appreciate that.
Loved it. So I'm plugging that. I'm also plugging Baked Salmon's live stream depending on where you are on the globe. It's Saturday for me, but check out his live stream if you haven't. If you somehow are here not because of him, check him out, because he's a genuine article here.
Oh, I appreciate that. And this week we're doing the guy from Mars chat log, Inderjeet Singh.
Ooh.
The Sikh.
He's not a lawyer, but he is educated.
He is.
He is a well-educated person. I could spend an hour talking about that, but what kind of defense is hey, so you're here to have sex with a kid? Well, no, actually, I have an MBA. What?
I'm really intelligent. I have a degree, so
I'm pretty much an intellectual, I think he says.
Yeah, I'm an intellectual, and he even tells the cop outside, "Well, nothing's happened, so can I let you go?" And I love the cop says, "Oh, okay, yeah, you didn't do anything. Okay, yeah, we'll let you go.
I'm clean. I wasn't going to do anything. I haven't done anything yet. Anyway. Yeah.
Great.
Great
answer.
The one-liners from TCAP, boy, oh boy, some of my favorites.
Oh, yeah.
All right, my friend. Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on every time you are here. It is a sheer joy.
Right on, brother. Well, I appreciate it. Quick shout out to Anglerfish, has a new video out.
Radical.
I hate doing the shout outs because then I'll leave people out. Maxwell English, I love you. Nikki Chuckles, I love you. The DDAI bot, thanks for all the help. Yeah, just there's some things I just wanted to say. That's all.
Hey, no problem.
Just being honest.
Just being honest here. That's what the plug section is for, is to show some love to the people and things around us that we love. And you know what? That's why you're here, because I love you. I love that show. I love everything you do.
Oh, thanks, brother. Ditto. And you are so fucking professional. I hope anybody who's seeing you and listening to you for the first time subscribes to you and checks out your podcast and your Twitch streams because you rock. So
yeah, thank you so much for that high praise. Thank you everybody who showed up to partake, because without you, it would just be me and him. I'd still do it, let's be honest, but it wouldn't be as fun.
Come on, just being honest.
Just being honest. I'm being honest.
It's one of those 50-50 things.
Can I call my mama?
That's right. You can, brother. All right, thanks for having me, dog. We'll do the wrap up next time.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up on another episode. So thanks, guys, and we'll catch you next time on another episode of FFOP Radio.
For the